Welcome to the Johnny Bright Bowl. Players coming out onto the field for the 4A Provincial Championship. It's the Holy Trinity Academy Knights against the Austin O'Brien Crusaders. Two absolute staples at this level. Welcome to the announce booth here at Johnny Bright. Connor Toffin joined by Rob Harrod on this IC Live Procast. Rob, let's get right into it. It's a passing offense against a running offense today, and some really interesting matchups, to say the least, between these two teams.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see this one play out. Again, that's always an interesting battle to watch. And again, with some great receivers and a quarterback on the side of AOB, it'll be interesting to see if they can execute and how they execute in this type of condition. You know, I was down walking the field earlier, and the footing seems to be really good. If they can keep the ball clean and free of ice and moisture, that's not a bad thing to be throwing the ball in, as long as they can keep their hands warm. And that's a tricky thing in this type of condition. Like, we're well below zero now. Yeah. The snow, I don't think, is going to be as much of a factor, but the cold will play into it. The kids are going to have to keep themselves warm to stay in this one. But I'm looking forward to that aerial attack on the side of AOB, and then a little bit of a ground and pound on the other side. I think I'm looking forward to seeing how they execute the run game, because I think the strength of the AOB defense is to stop the run. So their goal today for AOB is to stop the run of Holy Trinity and work through the air.
You know, some people call the football a rock sometimes. It's just a saying, you throw the rock around. But with the cold weather today, that football is kind of actually a rock. It's less of a saying and more so just a fact today. And part of me wonders how much that could impact the passing offense that AOB has. They have Mojani, Gurnett, and Horn finishing first, second, and third in the Metro Division 1 in receiving yards. Obviously, that means their quarterback, Malcolm Matheson, finished first in passing yards as well. They can run the ball a little bit as well. Alex Jacobson, 41 yards shy of second place in Metro Division 1. Now, AOB playing in maybe the toughest conference in all of Alberta. It's at least an argument for it. They have played top-level competition all game long. So they take their lumps during the year a little bit. They take some losses, and it prepares them for a game like this here in the provincial championship.
Yeah, and talking to their head coach, he talked about exactly that. He's like, you know, playing that high level of competition really allows us to play at a higher level. And so again, like you said, sometimes taking your lumps, but really playing at the highest level possible. And they've done that for a number of years, where their competition is high during the season, and that allows them and sets them up really well for preparing in the 4A run to the finals.
Got a lot of stories coming into this game. We'll talk about them shortly. For now, we're going to throw to the house for the national anthem. We are just about ready for the 4A Provincial Championship.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem.
Well, you heard it there. Pretty good support today here for the Holy Trinity Knights. Lots of fans coming in wearing that green. It's a lot of green teams here at the 4A division. These two guys in St. Joe's always in the picture. So if you wear green, apparently you got a pretty good chance at coming to a provincial championship game. So we've seen some interesting football all weekend long, and it just feels like another game where, you know, coming in, one person might have one team as a favorite, one might have the other. We just don't know, Rob, and that's exactly what you want down the stretch.
You do, and both these teams have experience playing in championship games and at a championship level, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that experience plays out. Both teams have players that have been to at the high level and playing under pressure games, which of course the provincial finals is always a little extra pressure, which is fun. And then their roads here for both these teams were interesting roads. So AOB obviously had a chance to beat St. Joe's in the first round, took care of Hunting Hills quite easily, and now they're here. So they didn't get a lot of pushback. But again, if you look at Holy Trinity's road here, Bishop Carroll in the first round, convincing win. And then they beat Cochrane. And Cochrane, as we know from following provincial football over the years, is a very, very strong team and with talented players. And so they took care of business there. So they got here as well. It wasn't too close of a game. And so, again, two teams coming in with some convincing wins early on in the playoffs here. And now facing off here tonight on, a little brisk in the air, but that sun is shining. It's beautiful out, I must say. If you're going to have a cold day, better off be in the sun, and we're going to watch that sun fade over the field over the course of this one this afternoon.
Yeah, 83 points combined through the quarterfinals and semifinals for Austin O'Brien, letting up just 16 to St. Joseph. 94 on the other side for Holy Trinity. Their defense, though, gave up 28 against Bishop Carroll and 20 against Cochrane as well. Regardless, dominating wins, 4 of them combined between these two teams in the quarter and semifinal. And coming into the provincial game, you have to imagine both those sidelines believe that they're going home with the trophy today, but only one will.
They do, and the other thing just to note in the playoffs is AOB has played here at Jasper Place Bowl all 3 games. So this is the 3rd game now at Jasper Place Bowl. Of course, last Saturday, a much nicer Saturday. Yeah. I remember my high school team was out in Wainwright playing there, and it was a much nicer day than it is today. A little warmer in temperature, a little less snow on the ground, but so they did have some clean tracks coming into this one before this week, but this week has cooled off. And of course, the snow fell here in Edmonton over the last few days. They got the field cleared before the game started yesterday, and it's been pretty good considering the time of year and considering the snow that just fell the day prior to this whole event starting. The track is in great shape. Turf's as good as you can ask at this time of year, and that sun is shining into the eyes of the return team right now. So we'll watch how that plays out over the course of this game with that sun as it sets on the south side there of the south end of the field. We're going to see it cross the beautiful skyline we have here.
Holy Trinity will be receiving first. Their season started with a game against Jasper Place. It'll end with the game at Jasper Place.
This reminds me of something I saw online in Cowboy Stadium, one of the returners looking straight into the sun because of the window at the end of Cowboy Stadium. The sun is literally at the directly south of the field for everyone facing that direction. So see how that plays out in the hands of the receivers and quarterbacks today.
You can see the returners both already shielding their eyes, standing just inside their own 10. Cornelson and Schmidt back to receive. We'll see if Austin O'Brien can get it there. Receivers today don't want to let that ball bounce. It is cold and can take some funny hops off the turf. We are underway in the 4A Provincial Championship. One big hop into the hands of Schmidt, and here we go across the 20, and right there are the Crusaders.
You had Bree Grayson on the tackle in the end. A few guys had contact there, couldn't take him down. And Grayson Bree had to finish him off there to get him pushed back. But again, not a bad return. But again, you talked about the ball not wanting to hit the ground. And he got a favorable bounce on that one. He did let it bounce, but it kind of came right to him. But again, in some cases, it hits a little bit of snow patch. That ball can skip a little bit when the snow is on the ground. So Holy Trinity starting fairly deep in their own end after that kickoff.
Nash Marzoff, the starting quarterback for Holy Trinity. A handoff on play number 1 goes up the middle. A pickup of just a couple and an early stand for the Crusaders.
So early on, AOB on defense is coming out with a 50 front, knowing the run game is going to be a big piece of Holy Trinity's offense today. And again, with that 50 front and the linebackers in the box, they don't have a lot of free safeties over the top. We'll see if at some point Holy Trinity tries to take advantage of the box being totally packed with the extra body in there.
Coach Kevin Crawford said that Marzoff is like having another coach on the field when he's at the quarterback position. Real smart player. He's going to drop back to pass here. Going downfield. Has a man open. It's caught. Cornelson across the 45. A huge gain of 41 yards.
Well, absolutely on cue. You see the cover zero, and you can see the receivers from the bottom side of the screen. The inside slot runs a little bit of an out-breaking rocker step, and he takes it skinny to the post, exactly where the free safety would be if they had one there. But again, they've committed to stopping that run, so there is no free safety, and they got 8 guys in the box. So again, you're seeing that cover zero once again here.
Told you before the game, Rob, that it feels like a game where, this team wants to run the ball, AOB wants to throw the ball, but maybe it's going to be the first team that can do the other thing well, balance their offense out a bit, could have a big advantage of this game. Now we'll run here for a few yards for the Knights.
Well, Coach Hogan did tell me, although they are kind of known for throwing the ball a lot, they actually have a run game that is surprisingly good. So they don't have a problem leaning on that a little bit, but obviously sometimes you use the pass to set up the run or the run to set up the pass. In that case, they're pulling the guys in the box with the run, and they've got themselves cover zero in the back end of the defense.
2nd and 7 to give to Cornelson, and he is stood up just beyond the line of scrimmage. Right there for the Crusaders was Eliason.
You can see here just straight ahead, getting a little bit of a read, keeping the guys honest on the edge, but that box is just packed with extra defenders. So here comes the change. Could be field goal, punt. We'll see our personnel on the field. It looks like, we'll see here. Probably be about a 45, 46-yard field goal if that's what they're doing here.
Looks like the
punt team
is out.
So playing the field position game here a little bit, see if they can get a kick, probably angled towards the sideline, see if they can eliminate any type of return.
Punt from the 44. We're seeing one of those run punts here for Lachlan Gaines. Going to bounce in the middle of a whole bunch of bodies. And we got to have a flag here. There we go.
So definitely a lot of green jerseys, and I know you're seeing dark jerseys on the screen. While the dark jerseys with silver helmets, that is Holy Trinity, and the black jerseys with the black helmets, both dark jerseys, but we've got the helmet color to differentiate a little bit. So it's going to take us a moment to grab some numbers off of jerseys, especially as that sun kind of changes the angle and the shadows, of course, on the field. But they're having a conversation about the flag, which is likely no yards, I'm guessing, because there's jerseys of every color around that ball when it was touched.
It's get the call here.
No flag. Number 7 was the punter.
Oh, so they had Lachlan Gaines within that 5-yard radius.
No
flag.
Yeah, the punter was definitely there. He was the one diving at the ball, but I guess
he can recover it. He is onside.
I guess they felt no one else was there. So scrimmage from here. A little better starting position for AOB than Trinity did on the previous drive.
Jacobson, the running back. The quarterback, Malcolm Matheson, quick dump off down the left side across the 40, but the ball's out. The ball's out, and it looks like the Knights have recovered it at the 40. They have.
Well, and you can see here he does a great job getting through traffic to the flat, gets upfield. But again, ball secured. You can see him coming in from the side there. Number 43 does a great job of getting the hand on the ball, punching it out, and then defenders jumping on that. So early on here, a turnover, flipping the field and giving Holy Trinity another opportunity deep in AOB territory.
Knights starting from the 40, stepping up in the pocket is Marzoff, flushed out to the right. He's got some running room, and he's hit out of bounds. Boy, a bit dangerous there. Eliason just catapulted himself towards the sideline, then ended up rolling into the bench. Took out an official. Looks like everyone's okay down there.
On Holy Trinity looking to go back to the air, but again, nothing's there, so he takes off and runs. And again, good mobility in your quarterback helps move the sticks, and he gets just enough. They, again, go crash it into the sticks and the bench there on the sideline. But first down is gained, so great position for Holy Trinity once again.
At the 29, gain of 11. They'll give it to the big back, Lincoln Stewart. For Stewart, he's really familiar with this program, a grade 12 running back. His older brother, Carter, was on the team last year as a receiver. Lincoln won a provincial title last year. His younger brother, Miller, also on the team, a grade 10 player. Lincoln's a captain on the team for Holy Trinity. Gain of a couple.
And they obey clearly, staying committed to stopping this run game. You can see again, 5 defensive linemen, 2 or 3 backers, depending on the receiving set.
Marzoff feeling the heat. He goes down just outside the 35. It's Noah Sissons who got there quickly. The big defensive tackle with immediate pressure up the middle.
So 2nd and long, they go to the air, and it just takes a little too long to develop, and you can see there a missed block by the offensive line, got the pressure in. He just didn't have time to get it because, again, still seeing cover 0 by the secondary. When I say cover 0, basically there's no extra defender. Usually you have a free safety in the middle of the field. He's an extra defender, so you can see cover 0, typically man-to-man coverage. So now what you want to do as an offense is look for the mismatch where you can find your best athlete against someone he can beat on a route.
Going forward on 3rd, that one is up and caught. A first down, maybe a touchdown. It is. Cornelson, 29 yards on a 3rd, actually 34 yards on a 3rd and 15.
Well, and again, he's going to that corner. He throws it, leads him to the space where he sees him open. Again, if you're going to go cover 0, it means you're in man-to-man coverage. So your defenders have to stay with the receivers for as long as they need to. In that case, he kind of found himself a little open space on the side of the field. That's a long throw, but he got it there in time. And, of course, yards after the catch got him to the end zone.
Extra point is up and good. So the Knights getting it done through the air early after an early turnover. Let's take another look at the touchdown. Once again, that cover 0, just no one over the top. So you're in one-on-one coverage the whole way. One guy beats their man, that's the risky run.
And I would go to that corner route a fair bit, again, spreading the field if your quarterback has the arm. And so that's always the test is can you challenge cover 0 with the arm of your quarterback and, of course, your receivers on the receiving end of those passes. So far, Holy Trinity, not much in the run game, but they've taken advantage of the cover 0 in the secondary to move the ball and get the first score of the game today.
So a touchdown early, a quick 7-0 lead for Holy Trinity.
Another
This ball is on the ground again. It looks like Holy Trinity has recovered again. They think they have it. No sign officially.
I think AOB jumped on it first, but at the bottom of the pile, yes, it is AOB ball. But again, that's the thing. That's why you tell your guys jump on the pile, rip it out, pull it out, show it to the official when you get out of the pile. You can see here he had a great little run, found a little seam there, but in from the side again, just that punch out got the ball out, and it's not necessarily the perfect punch out where it pops out right away, but he gets his arm, pulls it back a little bit. That ball security is already proven to be a little bit of a challenge for AOB here, and of course Holy Trinity probably preaching that to their cover team and their defensive guys, like get the ball out. Obviously they've put the ball on the ground twice here early in this one.
Apologies as well. Number 2 is Malik Robbins. So Malik Robbins scored the touchdown on that play. Also a high-level baseball player, played for the Okotoks Dogs, the best program in Alberta. Them and the St. Albert Cardinals, both very good. Here's a big run to the outside. Jacobson, a big gain of 15 out to midfield.
Well, and for the team that likes to throw the ball, again, they use their motion by the receivers in the backfield. They've got 3 guys to the left after the 2 guys motion over. They run that counter to the backside, and he just makes the guy miss. You can see here, he's got him, but he's a solid back with a good base on him, and he's able just to outrun that tackle and get himself a first down and a nice gain.
Out at midfield, Crusaders looking for a response. An explosive offense all season long. Matheson, clean pocket, gets rid of it down the field and well covered. Zach Zentner in coverage was all over the receiver.
Well, and you can see the free safety over the top, and again, he was kind of hedging to the 3 receivers side, which is the defensive right side, offensive left. But he ran that post from the backside, and you had to put it a little bit more on a line because of the free safety. If you couldn't air it out, like you see in cover 0, he had to put it on a line, and it just fell short. But it did come out with a little bit of zip on it. And so, again, talk about the arm talent of Malcolm Matheson. We saw it a little bit there. He's just going to have to get it a little bit more up for his receivers so he can make a play across the middle.
2nd and 10. Matheson quickly out down the left side. Receiver had a step. It's caught right at the sticks. That's Vincent Horn with the catch.
Well, that's a wide side out, and so the wide side of the field, again, he just gets it out there, and that is elite level arm talent on display there. There's not many high school quarterbacks anywhere that can throw that wide field out. Of course, the Canadian game, 65 yards wide, and so that wide field out is usually a place that the defense will give up a little bit because you can't expose them with the arm strength of the quarterbacks. But here, Malcolm Matheson, no problem getting it out to the deep out for the first down.
Horn led the Metro Division I in receiving touchdowns. He was third in yards. Here's a quick look out to the left. This is Gurnett. They got three really good receivers, Jeremiah Mojani, Vincent Horn, Joshua Gurnett. They're going to look to them over and over on offense, but they're also going to flip around and play defense, all three of them as well, defensive backs.
Well, in this case, what you're looking at as an offensive coordinator is can you get production on first down? And if you're not running the ball all the time, they like to spread out and throw it. You got to look to that quick passing game. That was a little wide receiver screen with blockers out in front, getting good yards on first down.
Two receivers motioning out to the right. Matheson quickly out once again. Well covered, maybe early. Yes. Yeah. A flag thrown on Jackson Hand. That contact came just a split second early, and it's going to be a 1st and 10.
Yeah, it wasn't too early, but you could see the contact on the body definitely happened right before the ball arrived. Again, so close, and it was a close call, but you could see his body react to the contact early, and the ref right there to see that contact.
The previous play with pass interference, number 23, it'd be a first down.
So under 15 yards, so it'll be a spot foul. They'll put it at the 36, but that does move the sticks.
So good responding drive here for Austin O'Brien. Again, they gave up the turnover, resulted in the touchdown. Again, now they're responding. They've got themselves a drive here. Let's see if they keep it going and if they can get themselves some points now as they encroach on the red zone.
From the 36, Matheson. Empty backfield, long throw. Here's a shot towards the end zone, juggled and caught out at the 1. Vincent Horn. 35 yards.
And they set up the wheel on the right side. They ran to the flat and hit it a few times, and he just wheels up the sideline, and you can see the defensive coverage guys just in chase mode at that point in time. But again, looking right back into the sun. It took a little bit to reel that in, but that is a great catch, getting them down to the 1 in a real good scoring position here.
Matheson under center, a push forward. No sign yet. Crusaders think they've scored. They have. Touchdown, Austin O'Brien. Big response for the offense.
The old tush push. Here we go. You know, usually it's the Eagles doing that to perfection. This time we got two teams, black and green and silver, and the tush push gets them into the end zone from the 1 yard line.
You know, get another look at the touchdown, I'm sure, shortly, but you're not allowed to touch the quarterback on the tush push here. You got to push the O-line, right? And I wonder.
Yeah, you got to push the O-line, yep.
Got a hand on the quarterback. Didn't get a good look on it myself.
Well, and that's the big difference is you can like run literally shoulder to shoulder with the quarterback and being like a three bodies all together as long as you're not pushing the quarterback and you're pushing the lineman in front. And so, again, you're moving that pile, just not pushing the ball carrier.
First, we'll get a big look at that shot down the sideline to Vincent Horn. It was a really, really well-thrown ball by Matheson. And Horn, good focus to...
Well, at first I thought he may have overthrown that.
You see every player pushing the line. I mean, it gets tight, and then maybe in left hand
24 kind of comes in a little bit, but it's
by that point, the officials can't see in there. So that was Brady Weeks. So hard, you know, even if you can't push the quarterback, to push the O-lineman forward and then to, against the defense that has to line up a yard back. Tough to stop.
It is, and I mean, that's in many cases a gimme. We've seen when it's not a gimme, i.e. Grey Cup this year. Turning point in that game on the goal line that helped Saskatchewan secure the Grey Cup this year.
Caught in the air on the run by Weston Schmidt. Wakes on Wisp. Has some running room, one to beat. And a good job there by the kicker, Dotterai. to take him out at the 53, but a big return for Schmidt. Puts the Knights in good field position.
You can see the cover team as they go down. There's a lot of guys on the left and a few extra gaps on the left-hand side of the returning team. And so again, as the returner wheels towards the middle, it keeps their line straight in their coverage lanes, and then he bends it back to the short side of the field and found himself a little bit of a crease where he ran into the kicker.
So after the long touchdown to Malik Robbins, the Knights with the football once again. Shoulder pads down. I want to go back to that touchdown catch by Robbins. As I mentioned, he's a baseball player. He had to track that one over the shoulder. So if you're an outfielder in baseball, or even you're on that middle infield, left side of the infield, third base, you run those in practice all the time. They actually call them quarterbacks, Rob, where they make them drop step, catch it over the shoulder. You run them all the time. I was a pitcher, but I still had to run those. Did terribly at them. But it's one of those things where you talk about a cross-sport athlete, a guy that was a former baseball player, might have a little bit of an easier time reeling in a pass like that. Here's one deep down the field. Do we have a flag coming? Ref's reaching and throws it. This one is against Vincent Horn and the Crusaders. You've seen that little turn there. It'll be pass interference.
So dropping an extra defender into coverage. You can see here they've got their guys dropping into coverage. They've got a little bit of help deep there. You can see coming across, but I think just a little bit of contact. And again, in these conditions, sometimes ends up on the turf. So they're going to get the aid
This
of
play, pass interference, defense, be a 15-yard penalty.
They were looking for Ferris Funk. Did a good job to keep fighting through to that football.
Yeah, we're seeing this rhythm on first down. The AOB defense is in. They have 8 men in the box, so again, cover 0, and then sometimes on second and long, we're seeing a little bit of help with the free safety. So we'll see if that pattern continues as they move into shotgun here on offense.
They'll fake the handoff. Quarterback takes it here. Marzoff right up the middle. He's just going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Actually, maybe a yard short.
So what AOB is doing on this motion by the receiver, they're blitzing the backside halfback to take care of contain on this side. And you can see collisions there, and then the defensive linemen are in position to take the quarterback. So the quarterback has the option to read that, so he can give it to the running back. He can probably give it to the sweep guy if he wants. And then he also has the option to keep it and go up the middle. This time, didn't have much space up the middle when he kept it.
Marzoff has time, now flushed out to the left. He's running out of space, getting to the sideline, has to evade the official. He's going the wrong way. He's just going to throw it away out of bounds. This should be a flag for intentional grounding. It is. And that one was just an emergency throw there by Marzoff.
Yeah, and again, that's a decision-making thing for your quarterback. As he rolls out, he really had a chance as he rolled out to this side. Just throw it away, even if it's out of bounds.
Intentional grounding, number 7. The point of fault, third down.
Got the name wrong or the number wrong on that one. 7 is Gaines. He's a linebacker. It's Marzoff 9.
So because he threw it away at the point of where he was, unless he did it earlier, he would have saved himself 25 yards. Incompletion either way, but 25 yards is the difference. So now a punt here is very different if they were punting from inside the 50 on the other end of the spectrum. So again, just a decision-making process. You want your quarterback to process. You don't need to win it all on one play. Just make the best play for that call and live with what you have. So great punt, great coverage there.
That was Jackson Hand in on the tackle. Like you mentioned, that 25-yard loss, though, on that play, even though it was a return of 0, it's only a net difference of 4 from what that previous line of scrimmage was.
That's right, and that's where those decisions come in. Again, it didn't hurt them, but we'll see what they do with this slightly shorter field. Like they could have been inside their 20, inside their 10, but now they're going to be starting from just a hair inside the 35 here. See if AOB can get a drive going again.
Officially a net difference of 30 on the punt. That's a pretty good net here at the 4A level. Good boot, even better coverage. Here's a quick flip up ahead to Mojani. Makes one miss, trying to get to the edge. Mojani down the sideline and steps out at the 52. Not a lot of room there with Johnson coming in. Smart play by Mojani just to get out of bounds.
So a receiver coming from the left side of your screen, you can see a little flip in front. And the reason a quarterback usually makes that a flip instead of a handoff, if it is hard to handle, it's a forward pass, which means it would be an incomplete pass, versus a handoff in front. That, in other words, would be a fumble. So great job on just the execution of the little flip in front to make it a forward pass. But again, basically you're running a sweep to the edge. It's a good job to get the first down yardage.
This is an entertaining offense to watch, isn't it? Matheson, quick look out to the left, has a receiver. This is Alex Sars, a grade 12 receiver. One of those guys, not part of their big three, but you can get a chip in from a fourth guy every now and then. That'll help you. Gain of almost 20.
Well, and personnel-wise, they're pretty much 5 receivers all the time. So they've got lots of receivers out there, and they spread the ball around, take the open receiver, and that's what you want to do. As a quarterback, you don't want to zero in on your 1 or 2, or in this case 3, maybe star receivers, as you want to read the defense, take what the defense is giving you based on your offensive play calling. If you've got different route combinations, take what's available to you and get the positive yards.
Hand off a quick run up the middle for Jacobson. Not a lot of room. Physical finish to the play. The big boys on the line of scrimmage love runs like that. This time, the defense wins.
Yeah, again, trying to keep the defense honest with a little bit of run mixed into their passing game, but the defensive front 7, sometimes 6, depending on personnel. Like with 5 receivers, you're typically going to match up with 5 DBs and a free safety, so that's where you got your box of 6 in there instead of your typical 7 in 12-a-side football.
2nd and 10. Wonder if the Crusaders might be in field goal range. Might not care now, though. A throw right to the sticks. Caught at the 30. Once again, Alex Sars on the last play of the first quarter picks up what looks to be a first down.
Well, we've got ourselves another good one here. The end of the first quarter, all knotted up at 7.
Good one.
Really getting it done in the air for both these teams. Obviously, AOB built to throw the ball. Holy Trinity taking advantage of cover 0 a few times and hitting some shots over the top. So both doing it through the air on this cold day. It's good to see for a receiver.
Crusaders moving the ball, all knotted up after 1.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Alex Sars almost took that crossing right, almost got a seam, went to the house there. So
We are back. As you hear, AOB's close. Crusaders driving the ball at the 30. Alex Sars has made a couple of big catches here on this drive. And the Crusaders are on the doorstep of the red zone out at the 30-yard line. Connor Toffin and Rob Harrod on the call here this afternoon. Now the Crusaders have a kicker whose longest is 56 on the season. Remy Dotterai is a U of A commit. they're hoping AOB is that we're not going to have to see this today, but they are actually one of those teams where they don't punt the football, but they'll kick a field goal every time because with Canadian rules, it works out the same as a punt as if it doesn't go through. They are probably within field goal range now. If your kicker's making them from 56, 37 is well within the range, although probably not going to make a 56-yarder today with how cold it is. Crusaders hoping for more here on a 1st and 10, starting at the 30. Matheson had a really good first quarter, spreading the ball around to 3 or 4 different receivers. Definitely got passes out to Horn, Gurnett, and SARS. Haven't seen much of Mojani yet. I'm sure he'll pop in as the game goes along. Matheson back to the air, another 5-receiver set. That one a little to the left, was targeting SARS again, and Lachlan Gaines was right there.
Well, defensive lineman, I think, got a piece of that one. We'll take a look at the left side of the defensive line. You can see there, hand comes up, and he does a great job. And that's what you teach your defensive lineman. If you're not going to get to the quarterback, when his arm goes up, get your hands up, see if you can get a paw on it, and they did that exactly there.
Would have been about 5 there. A short little comeback route. Could have been an easy pitch and catch, but that was Lars Paulsgaard getting the hand on it. Paulgard, sorry. Here's Matheson. Dropping back, a little room in the flats here for the Crusaders. This is Brady Weeks out inside the 5.
Kind of got hauled down from behind there, but you talked about the flat opening up. They had the outside receiver running a slant to bring the defender across the field, and he comes in from behind there. He just gets all the way out there, and so off he goes with a fair bit of number, all the way from the numbers to the sideline wide open, and you can see number 8, Jackson Hand, coming over to stop the touchdown there just inside the 5, as you mentioned, almost at the 1.
Heavy formation here for the Crusaders, looking to plunge it into the end zone for their 2nd touchdown of the day. And it looks like the Knights have responded at the goal line. They were on the 2. Looks like a pickup of 1. We'll take it to the 1.
Yeah, I think they actually spotted him right at the 1 on the first one, so that was kind of still there. Looking at a 2nd down, so Holy Trinity coming up with their plan to stop the tush push, the Canadian tush push.
It's really hard to see down there with the shadows and the dark jerseys, but here we go. Another push. Boy, the Knights got a good push from their defensive line again. Was it enough? They just need that tip of the ball to the goal line. They're calling it a 3rd down.
Yeah, you can see him behind here. Oh, you can't see from that view, but he kind of slips a little early, and his knee is down quite early. And so, yeah, huge push by the front. I mean, almost 12 of Holy Trinity. We'll see what they do here. They've got a couple receivers out to the left and one to the right.
Knights looking for a goal line stand. This one's going to be close too. Matheson near the goal line. No signal yet. The Knights think they've got to stop. Usually you'd see that touchdown sign by now. They're going to call him down. The Holy Trinity Academy Knights, 3 tries right at the goal line and 3 straight stops.
See on the replay again, such a pile. Just no one can see the ball cross the end zone. Number 4 is in the back there. I thought the initial push, a little bit of a forward lean. I think he came down like just on the inside of the white, so he did not make it. And they're taking over as close to your old goal line as you can.
From the 1, so still some chance here. Oh boy, that was almost gone. Lincoln Stewart was well into the secondary. We almost seen a 109-yard rushing touchdown, but a touchdown-saving tackle.
That was a huge first down run for Holy Trinity to get out of the shadow of their goal line. You mean they're not out of the works yet, but what an amazing run on first down to give themselves some breathing room, much more open in their playbook now. And again, with that filled box of 8 players, they've got cover 0 over the top.
A little bit of trickery on the run here fooled some of the Crusaders, but overall not a ton of space over the middle. Those guys in the interior had their eyes on the ball, did their job.
A little counter by the fullback there. You can see running right into the hands of number 41, Noah Sisson, defensive tackle in grade 11, just right into his arms. He makes the tackle almost at the line of scrimmage.
Vincent Horn, by the way, seen him make a tackle, maybe to save a touchdown. Suffered a broken hand in week 3 against Spruce Grove. Played through it, finishing the game with 2 receiving touchdowns and a game-sealing interception. He's got a knack for big plays. Good tackle there, made by Noah Bannock.
Yeah, Bannock did a great job scraping to the sideline. You can see him kind of shadowing. He beats the blocker out in front, and then he's just going to chase him down to the edge there. What an outstanding job. That's a tough one to do. They try to drag that to the sideline. If you're going to run laterally in behind the line of scrimmage, as a defense, you want to push it to the sideline so eventually he runs out of room. If he stops his feet, then your pursuit guys should be able to make a play. But in that case, you just beat him at the point of it, beat the offensive blocker at the point of attack, and he just ran him down before he got any chance to get upfield.
Lachlan Gaines standing on his own 2 to kick it away. Wonder if the safety could be in play here, be a field position play. No, they are going to boot it away. Gaines is going to take it. Gaines flips it ahead. But they'll say the knee was down. That almost got interesting. A big stop, though.
It was interesting.
For the Crusaders. They'll have it at the 13.
Check the replay on this. So he takes off to run. You'll have to see if he's down before. Well, yeah, I think his knee is definitely down.
Left knee.
And I don't think he was across the line of scrimmage. So if his knee wouldn't have been down. But interesting, they get the goal line stand, and now they put them right back on offense inside the 15 on about the 13-yard line. Again, poised in a great position here. Now, again, what I like to do as offensive coordinator is look at exposing those corners of the end zone because we've got the deep end zones at least for a few more years in the Canadian game. I would take advantage of those corners. You see, you got cover 1 with a free safety over the top here in the red zone.
Matheson drops back, steps up in the pocket. We got a flag in the backfield. Wonder if that's on a hold on the right tackle.
Well, that's the area that usually that happens in, so we'll see what the call is.
Might have actually been the center, Walter Fox, 77. This would be important ground to cover here for the defense if this one gets marched back.
Holding.
Didn't get a number there, but
we do know it's holding. We do know it's holding, and they did march them back. So now they can get a first down before the goal line. They're marked at about the 23, so that makes the 3-yard line the first down marker if they want to get a new set of downs. Lots of room to work in the secondary, obviously, for a passing attack here. We'll see what AOB decides to do.
Going this way, by the way, that sun's got to be in the eyes of the quarterback, Matheson. Scans of the field, looks downfield, intercepted inside the 5. It'll be returned by the Knights. That's Zach Zentner. There is a flag down at the 33.
That's Malcolm Matheson who was taken down. We'll get a replay here. After he delivers the ball, there was a little bit of extracurricular. You can see there.
Matheson throws, intercepted. So this might be after the interception.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Ooh,
and right there.
Blown up right at the end of the play. Flag's going to go against Ryder McDougall. But after the interception, so play should stand here, if we're correct.
And Holy Trinity is going to be working right back out of their almost 1-yard line here. So we'll.
After the interception, we have unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 99, with a tourist hit, a 15-yard penalty. It's a first down.
Right back at the 1.
Takes them right back to the 1.
Again, that's a tough situation to be in as an offense. The difference between the 15 and the 1 is massive with regards to breathing room, pressure, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what Holy Trinity decides to do here.
Can't take a penalty either, especially a holding. It would be a safety. Handoff. Out to the 3 or 4. Everything's so valuable. Every yard down by your own goal line. Offenses, Rob, down here usually have a bit of a special package going. Something safe, something there.
If you want to set an Alberta Bowl record, now is the time to do it. Start on your own 1. You get a 109-yard run. You get a 109-yard pass. You got cover 0 in the red zone. I tell you, that would be too tempting for me as a coordinator. I says we're going right to the middle of the field, and we'll see if we're going to beat them for the distance.
Another handoff here. AOB right there again. Right in the middle of things.
So this time,
Ayala Mehi.
this time on the goal line, defense does their job and gets the stand after a couple little counter there to the right side of the offense, but the defenders stayed disciplined on the backside. Sometimes you over pursue if you see the action going away from you, or you kind of try to come over the top. In that case, very disciplined on the backside. We're able to take care of the counter action and stop them here. So here's
Got to be a safety, right?
I would think you'd do a safety, but your defense is kind of keeping them out of the end zone the last two trips down here. So maybe you don't want to give up those points and just see if you can defend the field.
Bit of a wide snap here, and maybe if there was a decision to make, that wide snap might have made it a little easier. Looked like they were taking the safety the whole way. Gaines runs out of the back of the end zone. So question I have for you here, Rob, because I see it all the time. If you're going to take a safety, why don't you put a quarterback under center, make that snap a little easier, or out in the gun?
Well, and again, like they were like on the 3-yard line, so then you've got to have your center backpedal or your quarterback backpedaling out of there. If you're on the 1, you can probably do that, but again, getting that snap back, even if he's got to jump on it if it's a bad snap, that exchange is really tricky at some times. So again, obviously opting for the single to see if they can flip the field against this offensive, this passing attack that has been successful. They've just kind of stalled in the red zone, and of course the 1-yard line, 3 runs from the 1, they didn't get in, so they had to go away from the strength of their offense, which is the passing game. So interesting decisions down on the goal line. We'll see if they get another opportunity to get some points here, starting from the 35 after the safety was given up.
So the Knights give up 2 points, but it's a 71-yard net difference in field position. Feels like it's worth it. This is a pitch to Mojani. He only gets 1.
We got a little toss to the outside. Again, you're trying to stretch this wide. He finds his gap to get into, but it closes very, very quickly. So once again, facing second and long here from his own 37.
Ball spotted just past the 36. 2 backs, 1 receiver out wide to the right. Now Mojani will motion out. To the air goes Matheson. Steps up in the pocket. Got to get rid of it quickly. Blitz from the secondary. That late blitzer made the difference on that play. It'll go down as a quarterback sack.
I wonder what the route combo is on the play side there as he looks to the right side. Again, both receivers kind of go deep, and there's no other dump off. There's no other intermediate route that he can throw to. So not sure if there was a mix up there or it was a shot play to just let it go and he just didn't feel comfortable doing that. But didn't really have any outlet to get that ball out. Ended up taking the tackle there before he got a gain. So here's your punt field goal opportunity. You got 3 guys currently lined up onside. They're in motion, so they won't be onside.
Officially goes down as an 82-yard field goal attempt. Made this joke before. It'll get taken at the 40. Malik Robbins on the return. A dangerous return, man. Got a good look at the leg of Dotterai there, but that football is just dead today. It's like kicking a rock. It'll be taken out to the 48.
I think we had number 41, Noah Sissons, on the tackle. Again, that ball, the density of the ball and the impact on your foot changes in cold weather. And there's an example where usually that ball would fly a little further. So in the kicking game, seems to be impacting the flight of the ball. In the passing game, not so much today. Both teams have found a way to get it done through the air.
Couple of fake handoffs, play action out to the right side. They were looking for Lincoln Stewart, the running back. Out in the flats, couldn't find him.
Yeah, a little play action, roll out, semi-roll gets out there. He has his man, just overthrows him there a little bit. So again, facing second and long. Again, we've seen this before where they don't get the yards on first down. Then they go to Austin O'Brien, looks at going to a cover 1 to help out the passing game. Again, that vaunted running attack by Holy Trinity just has not found traction today on what is a pretty good turf field for this time of year. They just haven't had the holes to run through. They've busted a couple for 8 to 10 to 15 yards, but really have not found a rhythm in their run game quite yet.
At their own 49, all of a sudden, just over 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Deep shot towards Malik Robbins. Oh my goodness, he got a hand on it. And just out of his reach.
Well, he's trying to overthrow the cover two. You can see the two interior guys starting to bail with them. And again, just kind of sandwiched him. But he was in behind coverage, perfectly delivered ball.
Yeah.
That was the only place he could have caught it. It would have been a heroic catch there, stretched out with one hand. But they are going to be forced into a punting situation. Just wasn't able to connect on that one. But not shy throwing the ball downfield.
It's pretty much as good of a throw as you can have there. I mean, you're throwing it into double coverage and only your receiver gets a hand on it. So he has a shot, not a good shot, but a shot at it. I mean, Malik Robbins has already had a touchdown catch in this game, has good hands, and neither of those defenders got close to the football. So this ball is taken in the air on the kick return by Brady Weeks, the defensive back. There is a flag just outside the 40.
I think AOB was short a player, and he ran on late, and I think that's what this flag is going to be. So this may actually give Holy Trinity the ball back because of an illegal substitution.
Conversation with the Knights. Oh boy.
We have a legal substitution, defense, we have a 10-yard penalty, and it's a first.
Automatic first down. That is a crucial mistake by the Crusaders. Good eyes, Rob. You've seen it right away.
Well, you see him come in late, and the ref on the sideline will put his hands up when the sideline is officially closed. So there's a certain amount of time a team would have to sub one on. Then once the sideline is closed, that is it. So as a coach, what you want to do is if you know you're short and you think it's critical enough, you call the timeout, you get your substitution on. With 3 minutes left, you could have used the timeout to save that one. But unfortunately, in this case, they've now given up the first down, and Holy Trinity's got the ball back.
A run play for Cornelson. Good first down production here. They'll get 5.
Well, and I think if I was Holy Trinity, you need to find a way to get back to that run game. Again, getting that turnover was huge because they can kind of be disciplined. They're in the positive plus territory here. And you can see if they can get that run game going. Maybe play 3-down football at this point in time if they can get half the yards for the new yards. Lean on that run game, even though you're going up against a box with 8 guys in it.
Run up the middle. It's going nowhere. Boxed in. Or the Holy Trinity Academy Knights right now can't get that run game going. 3rd and 4.
You know, one of the things that AOB talked about, their coaching staff talked about, their ability to game plan to take away the strength of the opposing team. We talked about it a little bit earlier on, but that's the strength of Holy Trinity is that run game. And of course, you know, AOB's counter is let's put 8 guys in the box, force them to go to the air. We'll see what they do here on 3rd and about 3.5.
They need the 41. No question to go for it here for the Knights. Pressure in the backfield, taken down. A sack for Zachary Peary.
Yeah, again, just coverage is there. Low snap, just he is not able to get his eyes downfield early enough, and then you can see there he just didn't have the time. So that's the impact of can be the ball, can be the field, can be a number of factors, but when it's at his feet, it takes his eyes off the secondary for a lot longer, then he doesn't get to make his read. So your quarterback wants to read the defense and make an adjustment there, but in that case was not able to make the read because the ball was at his feet, and the sack turned the ball over here on downs.
AOB with the lead after a safety earlier in this second quarter. Flip field position did give up the 2 points. Now a chance to extend for the Crusaders. Good passing attack. That's what you want under 3 minutes. They're going to go to the post. Long throw, some contact. Looking for a flag, not going to get it. Vincent Horn. It was covered, I believe, by Gaines, although Tavish Johnson was in the area as well.
You know, Horn running out of the inside receiver, running that corner route is a well-delivered ball. It's a little bit wobbly, but it was there on time. This is kind of a straight-up drop. He had the opportunity. The defender was pretty intentional on keeping his hands out, but just being there. Unfortunately, that would probably go down as a drop, and I'm sure him as a competitive athlete and receiver would say, yeah, I definitely needed to catch that one. Here, come back to me again. I'm going to get this next one. But now you're seeing cover 1 by the Holy Trinity defense.
Over the middle, batted down. What a play by Lachlan Gaines, working inside of the receiver SARS. He bats it down. A quick 2-and-out for the Crusaders offense.
Well, he's got to get this ball out a little bit earlier. He sees the post coming across. As soon as he turns his head, that's where you need to get it out. And it just comes a little late and a little wobbly because the defense had the opportunity to kind of undercut it and knock that down. So again, just needs to get the ball out a little bit sooner on that crossing route before the defense gets a chance to get their hands on it.
So here's another long field goal. Once again in the stats, this will go down as a 65-yard attempt. In reality, this is a punt. Ball off the foot, angled towards the sideline. Boy, a good one there, placed just inside the 25. Not a lot of running room here, so the return is going to go, well, they are moving the pile forward. It could be 10 yards, maybe a little more even, as everybody on the field is in there.
Looked like they were fighting for that ball, and it may have come open. I'm not sure. They definitely, a big pile there, blown dead. And first down with 1:55 left in the first half here. We'll see if Holy Trinity can find a way. They had the early drive that got them into the end zone, but really have not found a lot of momentum. They have taken away the ball a couple of times now, once on a penalty and on a couple on the fumble, but they just haven't been able to take advantage of those opportunities.
Drop back to pass over the middle, man open and a diving catch. Caught by Ferris Funk.
Well, to the 4 receiver side, you can see them all hitch up, and the free safeties on that side, and they got one-on-one on the backside on a little quick post. And you can see does a great job of looking it in and tucking it in. That was an outstanding catch. Had to reach out and dive for that one, but good job securing the catch.
Malik Robbins out in space, ball's out, picked up by the Knights. We got a penalty. Was the play blown down as well? That fumble was picked up by the running back Lincoln Stewart. Here complaining from the Knights side, from the stands. They don't always know what's happening.
I think it was a forward fumble. So I think if it's fumbled forward, it can't be recovered by them. So I think that's maybe what they're talking about. Or it could have been an inadvertent whistle and they should have let that play on. So we'll see what they come out of their discussion with, but that's my guess. Forward fumbles, they're going to rule them down where that ball came out. So you're kind of, if you're AOB here, you're not really wanting it to be a fumble, because if it was a fumble, it's recovered by Holy Trinity, which gives them an extra few yards.
Previous play, at the end of the run, we have an offside pass. Ball will be pointed at or positioned at the point of the pass. Second down.
So yeah, that pretty much, essentially what you said there, Rob, with the forward fumble.
Yes.
It is the right call, you know.
An offside pass.
Let's get another look here. Yeah.
I mean, but because it was fumbled forward, I think that's where that's the call, that's the decision. It's you're right. Down where the guy was going down. Now, if that was recovered by AOB, that would have actually been a fumble and a recover and a turnover. But because it was recovered by Holy Trinity, good job being there to catch that or get that ball. We're going to return it to where it is and play out second down.
There was an injured Crusader as well. Pablo Bailo Ramos went off the field with a trainer. Looked like he got up okay. Shot down the middle. They have Malik Robbins across the 20. One man to beat. Gets tripped up. But a big play for Robbins from the 43 down to the 3. 40 yards.
Well, in that cover zero again, they're getting man-to-man coverage. You got a crossing route across the middle. And again, AOB did have a guy there, but just not following him across the field. Well-delivered ball into a great run-and-catch situation for him as he came streaking across the field. Robbins, good job securing that.
Handoff, Stewart, boy, stood up behind the line of scrimmage by Zaid Eliason. Been all over it on defense.
Great job on first down. They've kind of packed that box on a regular down anywhere in the field, but now they're inside the 5. This is a big stand that Holy Trinity had their goal line stand earlier in the half. Let's see if AOB can do that, or can Holy Trinity find a way to get this run game into the end zone here from the 4-yard line.
The Knights have two excellent linebackers, Michael Thomas and Eliason, both top 10 in the Metro in tackles. Booting out to the left, Marzoff to the corner of the end zone. It's in and out of the receiver's hands. Boy, it is really hard to tell with the shadows.
That
down
is
there.
Robbins. They actually had two receivers in the back of the end zone, both
Might have been
Cornelson and Robbins both there.
I see Dawson Rodney maybe down there as well. Might have. Oh, that is Robbins. Boy, had a chance at it.
Well, and they had two of them there. So you talk about the jersey colors.
Cornelson, yeah.
There's like a lot of dark jerseys in the corner of the end zone. They're in the shadows there as well. So big time decision here. Do you look at a field goal to see if you can take the lead back with 45 left, or do you take advantage of the opportunity being inside the 5 and take one more crack at the major here before the half?
Of note, a field goal from here would only be 10 or 11 yards, but when it's this tight, that angle can be really weird too. Those uprights, what are they, 8 yards wide, I think?
Like
Am I
that.
wrong?
You're
Somewhere
asking the
around
wrong
there?
guy.
Yeah, I know you don't like kicking anyways, so
Yeah,
maybe
no,
not the right one to ask.
Don't even know. All I know is it's a 20-yard deep end zone to throw the ball into. Let's go.
So
Yeah,
that
it
becomes
is
about 4 yards from this angle.
It's
though, when
a
you're at that
much
angle.
trickier. It's a much trickier kick, but you do have your kickers that practice these. You actually kick on different angles, and I have my kicker actually kick from like the numbers, like on the 5 and the 10-yard line. So they're trying to kick out a window that is, instead of your 8 yards, we'll call it for now, instead of the regular uprights, if you're further out the field, you're actually kicking at like a 4 or 5 yard window. Really shrink that down to work on the focus of the kick and really get your kickers lined up. And in this case, they're coming back out. We'll see what they do.
Don't see anyone
Setting up a tee.
Here we go. Marzoff under center. Big play here in this football game. They'll go play action. Marzoff, pressure once again by the Crusaders. He won't get rid of it. Taken down around the 20. This Crusaders defensive line, what a job. Pressure once again, and Marzoff didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, again, going back to the play action, trying to set up, but the left side of the offensive line just got collapsed in where he wanted to set up, and when he started to retreat, all the receivers were going to the left side of the field. They didn't have time. They rerouted themselves across the back of the end zone, but just a little bit too late. You couldn't see him, so. Let's see here. Well, I'm curious why
Forward progress, maybe
ball
first
is
contact at the 11.
there. That whistle should have blown a long time ago if they're only giving him forward progress at the 10.
Big Ben Miller with the sack on that one. It's a few sacks now for the Crusaders. Just a safe running play here, deep in their own territory. I think the Crusaders, Rob, just want to get that clock down. Wonder if the Knights might respond with a timeout.
I think the call on where they stopped his forward momentum is actually pretty critical, because if they were on the 30, I would say as an offense, you want to take a couple shots. You can punt it away if you don't get it when the clock's on less than 10 seconds left. But here on your own end, you're going to want to run the ball there. So they're forcing them to do that. So that was a big call by the officials to mark it where it was with forward momentum, because that was really a difference of 20 yards.
Yeah.
Where he kind of was running around a little bit, half running, half playing. So interesting decision there, but AOB now looking to see if they can get out of this one, as you said.
Timeout called by the Knights.
I think I would have been much more aggressive if I had the ball in the 20 or 25 coming out than they are at the 10 or 11 yard coming out. So now just trying to get out of this one with the 2-point lead. So interesting call by Holy Trinity, not taking the points when they had the opportunity, but maybe their defense can give them one more chance with the use of the couple timeouts. So a first down here, of course, would allow Austin O'Brien to get into the half and wind this clock out, but a stop here would force AOB to kick it away.
There has been 2 big goal line stands in this game. One either way. They need 9 here. They are going to hand it off. A run bounces to the outside. Mojani hit hard at the 10.
And he almost, if he would have gotten outside of that tackle, he got him by the last foot. He had a little bit of running room there. I think he could have made some damage if he makes one guy miss. You can see here as he bounces to the edge, what a great job of getting that tackle, because there's only one other guy to tackle between him and the goal line. So we'll see how this plays out. punt team coming out, or field goal team, I guess. I'd be curious to know if their personnel on field goal versus punt is the same or different, because you can see here on this field goal, they've actually lined 3 guys up as gunners, so that's typically not what you'd see in a field goal situation. And again, now they bring them in, of course, but they're still going to be cover guys to make sure there's no block here, because a blocked punt/field goal could make a difference here as well.
A 107-yard field goal attempt for Dotterai.
I think that may be a record.
It has to be a record, right? I wonder if he's done it from his own end zone before. Seen a couple long ones last year, too. Dotterai, tough hold there, and he'll kick it inbounds to the 45. 45-yard boot, maybe 47 from where they held it. And that field goal well short. His average, I believe, falls to 0 for 3. None of them actually makeable, though, returned out to the 35.
And a little bit tougher on the snap there. It took him a second to get it down, so good job of getting it down and executing there. Punt/field goal, or punt goal, I don't know, field kick? What do you call that?
Got to come up with a name for that, right? We got to coin it something.
I think a field kick.
Kick. I like yours. I like
because his field goal percentage is going to be horrible after this game.
Yeah, right.
But not an indication of his ability at all.
He's going to be, oh boy, looking for a deep shot here is Marzoff. One receiver falls. A couple guys fell, and eventually it was tipped down by a Crusader. Is that Gurnett in coverage? Yeah, someone's going to look at the field goal percentage by Dotterai at U of A next year and be like, what? Why do we take this guy? I'd be like, 20%. They might not know 80% of them were punts.
They're gonna figure that one out, and they're gonna watch his highlights. His highlights. You mean the kicker highlights for a field goal kicker? He's kicking from his own 3. Like, just the confidence they have in a kicker to do that is pretty amazing. So good execution though on that for those guys here. Holy Trinity looking to take a couple shots to the end zone here to see if they can get some points before the half.
Marzoff, another deep one down the field into double coverage. Ooh, deflected up in the air. That was dangerous for a moment. Now there's 4.8 seconds left on the clock.
Really close to being picked off twice. Johnny on the spot, our official down in that corner of the end zone. We'll get a shot of this here. As it got deflected, but it's the second guy who almost looks like he got his hands under this. Now we'll get a shot there. So it's deflected there. And it did indeed. Great shot there by our camera guys to catch that ball hitting the turf. So one more down, 4 seconds left. Probably taking one more shot at the end zone here. Maybe a pass interference call to get one more play a little bit closer, or the end zone they're looking to find.
Marzoff steps up in the pocket. Clock about to hit zeros. One last shot to the end zone. Ooh, that one came close as well. Vincent Horn might have saved a touchdown. That was Malik Robbins getting targeted. We know he's got some great hands, and yeah, we got a flag sitting at the 34.
It may have been that he crossed the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure. We'll let's take a look here and see what the officials have for us. I'm guessing they would just decline this and get out of the half.
An illegal forward pass, but
yeah, so cutting in and out, but you're right. Legal forward pass. That's the end of the half. It was a good one. We've had 3 straight close games here in the Alberta Bowl. Kind of blessed to be up here calling it, Rob, and it's 9-7 AOB into the half. It doesn't even feel like a 2-point game, though. It feels like we're pretty much dead even.
It feels like an even game, but it also feels like a lot of more points should have been scored. But you talked about the goal line stands and the turnovers in their own end just haven't produced the points. So just hard time for both teams finishing drives in this one. And again, defense is standing a bit. I did talk to Coach Crawford about their defense a little bit, and they tend to bend but don't break, and that means, they're going to maybe give up some yards, but they're not going to give up the major scores, and that's kind of the tale of their defense, as it is with AOB. They give up the one drive for the touchdown, but since then it's been 0 points scored for Holy Trinity. So a close one here going into the half. Exciting to see the second half play out.
9-7 is the lead for the Crusaders. When we come back after halftime, maybe the sun will set. We'd all say thank you if it goes behind the hills. Tons of shadows here. 9-7, AOB leads.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
I have time to get my sunglasses?
Welcome to the booth. Yeah, Rob, you get those sunglasses on, man. It is
There we
right
go.
in our eyes. We are back at the Johnny Bright Bowl. It's a 9-7 lead for the Austin O'Brien Crusaders. It's been a tight game. Seen a couple of goal line stands. Yeah, there you go. That sun, It's right there. I almost just looked directly into it. You went with the shades. It's a broadcast no-no, but I think we can make a pass for it this time.
I don't know. Can't see anything anyways. It's still so bright. So
and you'd imagine tough for us here just to see like where the camera is and these receivers. They're looking into the football. I don't think this sun is going to quite be set yet when they come back. And we seen it last game. I almost wonder if a coach might actually take like which side of the field instead of the ball in the third quarter for whoever deferred on the coin toss.
Yeah, without much wind, the flags are pretty settled on the posts there. It won't be long and that'll be gone. So by the fourth quarter, I imagine the sun will be gone. And as it gets lower, it's going to be, if you're heading north on the field as a receiver and you're on kind of the right side of the offense, looking back over your left shoulder, that's where it's going to be hard to see. And we saw the sun kind of, in the eyes of some of those guys downfield in the first half. So again, that third quarter, it'll likely be in play. And then the fourth quarter, it will be out. So if I'm maybe the offense that likes to throw the ball a little bit more, I'm going to pick the north end. It's a little bit easier for your quarterback to kind of navigate and look through the sun and find his receivers downfield than it is for a receiver to track a ball into the sun. So sometimes it impacts your play calling. Sometimes, what I always tell the receivers when I'm coaching them, I say, hey, just if you can't see the ball, catch the sun because that's where it is if you don't see it anywhere else.
So Holy Trinity, we talked about the rushing attack before the game. Austin O'Brien did a good job stopping that. Just 52 yards on the ground for Holy Trinity. On the other side, we talked about the Crusaders' passing attack, specifically Mojani, Horn, and Gurnett. Well, not their leading receiver, but their leader in targets is Alex Sars right now. Mojani has 1 target, Horn has 3, and Gurnett has 1. So Holy Trinity forcing them to spread the ball around. Total offense pretty even, 192 for Holy Trinity, 146 for Austin O'Brien. It's actually Holy Trinity leading in passing yards with 12 more.
Well, and they've seen cover zero almost the entire half unless it's like a really second and long, third and long. And so for them to be able to see the cover zero and say, hey, we're just going to go after that. And they did it early, and they actually capitalized on the cover zero a couple of times on some third down conversions. And that was what got them eventually their touchdown there in the first quarter. And so taking advantage of the cover zero is something that they're going to continue to do if they continue to see that. And I think AOB needs to keep 8 guys in the box. And again, it's kind of that shot for shot, like who's going to break one. But again, cover zero does leave you exposed on the back end of your defense. And so we'll see if they change that or if they rotate some guys into play free safety and then lighten up on the box. But they don't want to let that run game get going because that can control a game in cold weather like this.
If there was a star player on offense in that first half, it was number 2, Malik Robbins on the Holy Trinity Knights. 7 targets, 3 receptions, but 120 yards. His longest was 45, so he's averaging 40 yards a catch right now, and he's just such a dynamic player for this Knights offense. As we mentioned, real good ball player as well. Ball tracking skills are elite. You can see it. They're comfortable throwing him the ball into coverage, trusting that he's going to come down with it, and he scored that opening touchdown as well, which is right now the only points the Knights have.
Yeah, and he had a shot at the other one that he ended up dropping in the end zone, so he really could have had this team up with another catch. So, if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm looking at finding a way to get him not only out of the wide receiver spot, but maybe move him into the slot and allow him to run downfield and run some corner routes and expose the middle of the field a little bit more. They have to take advantage. I say it's, you can't allow a defensive coordinator to say, hey, we're going to put 8 guys in the box. It basically means your receivers aren't good enough to beat us downfield. And so that's what I'm trying to do as an offensive coordinator, find different ways to attack the middle of the field when they're playing cover zero.
We've seen some really close games here in provincials so far, Rob, especially the one last night. Keep mentioning it, but Wainwright and Bonneville played super close. Great one to call for us. Freaking out at the end of the game. Last second touchdown. What have we learned so far from the provincial games in this cold weather for how these teams can attack the second half?
Well, I think they need to manage the clock well and control the clock, because we also saw that, in some cases, the last team with the ball is the one that's going to win. And so both teams could do that on the last drive. I think Holy Trinity definitely needs to get their run game going. They're still in this one. They're not out of it. There's no need to abandon that at this point in time. So they need to get their run game going. And, I think the passing game obviously is what AOB is going to lean on. I think they can continue to do that because I think they've been fairly effective doing that, but they do need to just be consistent. They need to finish the drive, something they haven't done as well as I'm sure they have wanted to in the first half. So as they come out in this second half, I think they'll go blow for blow, but I think Holy Trinity needs to go back to that run game and look at taking care of cover 0 and attack the middle of the field. Because I think if they can bust a couple to cover 0, they're really going to force AOB to play a free safety, which may lighten the box. And if Holy Trinity can get a lead in this game, then they may lean on that run game to wind the clock out.
Got bad news for you, Rob. It's going to get a little colder once that sun starts to set. It's minus 11 right now, but due to get down to about minus 14, 15 by the end of the game. It feels like every degree matters. When that sun's out, you don't get the heat off the sun anymore. Minus 11 might feel like minus 11 right now, but once it gets to that minus 14, 15 with no sun, it'll start to feel more like minus 20. And everything just gets that much harder for both sides. Doesn't really give an advantage anywhere.
Well,
right?
and this team is going to feel the difference because they're going to feel the shade come onto the field. And again, when you're in a game like this, the blood's flowing, you're excited. The next game, you're coming out, and it's going to be cold the whole time.
Yeah.
So these guys are going to be in a dogfight here to the end, only 9-7. Close one here, and excited to see how these teams make some halftime adjustments to see if they can take advantage and get some more points on the board and bring that championship home here in the second half.
AOB, second guessing myself, yes. The Crusaders are receiving the kickoff here in the second half. Right now, you can only really see the silver helmets for the Knights is the difference. Well, we're underway. Kick is on the ground. A little bit of a squib here. Taken at the 35 and not much more. Absolutely hurrying in there for the Knights was Jackson Hand.
That's a great job by the cover team to really corral the returner. Again, it was a short kick. It took a big bounce, but for them to be able to corral that, because again, they could have given up some extra yards there. Interesting, we saw in the first half, Matheson was 8 of 13 for 128, very efficient, but did have the one pick across the middle near the goal line, where Nash Marzov was 4 for 10 for 140, so he was hitting them big, and then we had Matheson, who was really efficient.
Here's a deep shot. The receiver won it. For a moment, it looked like Zach Zentner was going to pick it away, and then Brady Weeks just pulled it away to the 35.
Well, Weeks did an outstanding job. Again, listed as a DB on the roster, just pulls that one away, and you can see the strong forearms, the grip on the ball. He was able just to pull it in because almost simultaneous, right? Both guys there, and he did a great job of just finishing that and letting the ref know with a little bit of a first down signal on his back there. So big chunk play early on.
Important for the Crusaders to take advantage on offense. The sun not in their eyes. Another deep shot on the wheel route. It's caught just outside the 10. Vincent Horn, the big, tough receiver for the Crusaders, out to the 11, gain of 24.
So it was almost like a back shoulder wheel route. They kind of had to get it way out there. So as he's running the wheel, the coverage is tight, but the DB's back is turned to the ball, so he has no idea. And he does a great job as a receiver to let the ball come down on his outside and keep the DB on the inside. It's something you teach the guy. One, late hands so they don't have a chance to get their hands on yours, but two, to leave that ball come down. So well-delivered ball on the outside shoulder, so he's able to make that catch.
To the 11, in the red zone go the Crusaders. Shot towards the end zone. That ball got tipped, or the quarterback's arm got hit. Remember, the Knights have already made a stand here today. The Crusaders have as well. Should have more points in this game.
Well, for the number of times these guys have both been in the red zone, let's get a shot here. Yeah, it looks like it does get tipped. I think it gets tipped by one of the defense linemen. Couldn't catch the number there.
Might have been 43, Jesse Miller, the linebacker.
It's getting harder to see the jersey colors as that sun kind of gets right in our sight line here.
We got a procedure call as well. Good thing I left my shades in the car. Hey, that's a veteran play-by-play guy move.
That's good. If you want some, I think I actually brought a second pair for the next 15 minutes before it drops. I think it's not going to quite drop behind West Edmonton Mall in the distant view, but it will drop somewhere between here and there and be out of our way.
At the 11-yard line, 2nd and 10, they can get a first down without scoring. It would have to be inside the 1. Matheson looking left, finds a receiver. It's tipped! What an athletic play by Jackson Hand. He's been all over it in the secondary today.
Well, Oh, we got another
flag
in the backfield. We'll see what that is. But again, that time he wanted to go to the out, but he didn't throw it far enough to the outside of the field. He kind of threw it a little bit in. So we'll get a call here.
Previous play, holding, offense, number 60. Penalties declined, 3rd down.
Field goal teams coming out. Once again, that was Jackson Hand. Maybe a little bit undersized for his position, but plays an incredibly physical game and apparently really good in practice at taking younger players, teaching them the game as well. He has a nose for the football. You've seen it all game.
I'm really interested to see how they're attacking the red zone in the goal line. We talked about the depth of the end zone, kind of jokingly a little bit, but you have a deep end zone, and so often in the Canadian game, running your slots to the corner is almost automatic with so much space.
Dotterai, a 19-yard field goal attempt. Can't even see. They're
Missed
calling
it.
it wide. Trying to return it over to the end zone, come the Knights to keep that single point off the board, and this one's going to come out to the 20.
Yeah, really interesting. With a strong leg and the ability to kick, he kind of just hit that one straight down the hash, and he ended up missing it to the right.
One of those
I don't know if he
angle
was
kicks we were
kicking
talking
for
about.
a single.
It was above the upright as well, so really tough to tell.
But yeah, definitely, he definitely did not get it back in there. Just kind of kicked it straight from where they lined up, and that's where your lineman as a kicker needs to move. But back to the red zone offense, I think they need to attack the corners of the end zone where they have lots of space. They seem to want to run across the middle of the field, through a pick once, but with the corner of the end zone, he's got the arm strength to do that too. So back to cover 0 from the AOB defense.
Run right up the middle. This running game for the Knights just not able to get going. They're trying to force them to the air. Lincoln Stewart, just a small pickup.
Again, I do see that they've moved Robbins into the slot a little bit on the left side on that last play. So we'll see if they find a way to spring him. And again, we'll see if AOB stays with their cover 0 or they drop to cover 1 now that it's 2nd and long. But Holy Trinity coming out in an odd set of 6 receivers.
Going to pass here. Stepping up in the pocket is Marzov. Now takes off across the 30. Has just enough for the first down.
Well, great awareness as they send 6 receivers out. They know the pressure is going to be coming because they don't have to worry about a run game. And, of course, he takes advantage. He surveys the field, sees the linebackers dropping, and then just takes off up the middle and just does enough to avoid the tacklers to get the first down. That's a heads-up play by the quarterback to take off and get what he needed.
Feels like we've had some good games here. I feel like this is maybe the most interesting chess match that we've seen so far. Handoff and a run. They find a way to get the ball into the hands of Malik Robbins. Does not want to go down across the 40. The whistle forward progress. Pickup of 8 on first down.
That's a great first down run. Bringing in your slot, bringing in your athlete to make a play. Again, a little different look going up the middle. You can see he dives it up there. Does a good job of just keeping his feet and keeping his feet moving. It's a big difference. The extra 4 or 5 yards after contact that he got gives them a wide open playbook here on 2nd and a yard.
Lots of movement on the line. We got flags in the snap. Might be a free play. Stewart running the football forward. Short gain. If this is offside on the defense, they'll take the penalty and get a couple more yards.
That first down production really gives them that opportunity to do what they want. They go on to, in that case, they get the defense to jump to get the free first down, if that's indeed the call, unless someone moved. But again, wide open playbook on 2nd and 1. You can take a shot if it's cover 0. You can just run the ball and get yourself a first down. But lots at the disposal of them right now in this type of situation. So we'll see what this call is. A long discussion to find out. Maybe someone did move to draw the defense. Everybody's waiting to see.
Seems like they might be having a bit of a debate right now. All 4 officials have pitched in something here.
A lot of eyes on it to converse, and it's good that they can have the conversation and get the call right. Because again, with multiple perspectives, sometimes you see someone move, someone sees a different person move, so they can have that conversation, make sure they get it right. We'll see here. Let's see if we can see anybody on the offensive line move. The receiver. Number one.
Cornelson might have been across the line, so this is a timing thing. Who went first? They're marching it back.
Yeah, see that replay. They're walking it back for us. So you can
Side,
see number 1.
Offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Yeah, number 1 did jump.
Big difference there too.
Sometimes they actually call offside on both of them and then they'll offset. So because he's so close to the line of scrimmage, as he waggles down to the line, you can see there he's definitely his foot's across before the snap, and then his whole body follows very, very quickly. So good call, and that's why you have the discussion to make sure you get it right.
So turns a 2nd and short to a 2nd and 7. Mazarov down the field looking for Robbins. Another big one. 20, 30, 34 yards to Robbins. Everything he catches goes a long ways.
We talked about finding ways to get him on that corner route. You can see him give him a rocker step there and then just go straight to the corner. And that's what I think AOB needs to do with their passing game, is attack the corner. But Holy Trinity is kind of taking a page out of their passing playbook and getting the ball downfield to their athlete. Once they've moved him into the slot there, let him run, let him free to go, and off he goes to the corner route. Just a great little rocker step on the inside to set himself up with lots of open space.
Looks like the Knights want to go deep again. More pressure. Mazarov gets out of there, running backwards again. This happened earlier. Tackled at the 54. We'll see where they spot the football. Zayd Eliason into the backfield. Forward progress this time. They will take it to just the 54. Big loss.
This is where I think he's just pushing a little too much. And again, by taking the loss, he's just get the ball out, throw it away, throw it into the grass. That's something that's tough to learn as a quarterback because you want to make a play. You're in a championship. You know, they're down 2, which isn't a lot, and there's lots of game left to play. But just instead of taking a 15-yard loss, take an incompletion, give yourself a chance on 2nd and 10. Now it's a little bit of a bigger hill to climb here.
Mazarov going back again. They got Robbins on the screen. If they can get a block, he might be gone a long ways, but good support there. Good gang tackling. A gain of just 5 on 2nd and 25 will bring up 3rd and really long.
I love the call, and they had their offensive lineman. Truscott was out in front, and he just couldn't get his hands on the guy. You can see Truscott waiting. The ball's caught. He needs to finish that block right there, and again, he just steps to the inside. I think he may have thought the running back was going to the outside because they had lots of field space. But again, good job on the defensive fall, getting off the block and making a tackle to limit the gain and force a punting situation. Likely a run punt. We've seen that a few times. We'll see if he tries to buy himself, his cover team, some time to get downfield.
I think that's Robbins' 5th catch. It would be his first under 30 yards this game. Quicker punt this time, taken by the Crusaders. They're just going to down it outside the 25. That was Brady Weeks on the return.
And not a lot of running room, and again, a safe play to get down. Just not risking a turnover or anything, but great job fielding the ball in the air. Absolutely critical as a punt returner to field the ball in the air, fields it cleanly, and gets their offense back on the field. So the defense does their job and gets the stop, forces the punt after the long tackle on the quarterback as he ran backwards. So again, a big field position. That's twice now we've seen that happened where they took a big loss on 2nd, and now they're punting from 15 or 20 yards further back. So we'll see if this passing game can get going. Hasn't been as productive in this 3rd quarter. We'll see if they can get it going now that the sun is kind of off the field.
Much easier to see right now. Lots of movement again. No flags though. Ball on the ground. And Matheson gets drilled. Jesse Miller right into the backfield. He has been all over it for the Knights defense.
Take a look. He just
stayed out that neutral zone.
It was a little bit low, but it was into his hands. He just took his eyes off the ball and ended up losing that. So the timing was off, and then he had to eat that one. So again, 2nd and 15. This is a big task for them to convert this. Not an easy conversion, but again, with the passing attack that they do have. Looking at probably cover 1 by the defense as they try to force another punting situation for AOB.
Pressure into the backfield again. Knights. Britton Fernand was the first one there. Another loss on the play. Back to the 15-yard line. It'll be a 3rd and really long. The defense is moving the ball more than the offense is on these last 2 drives.
This will be another 100-plus yard field goal attempt. That's probably an Alberta Bowl record. 2 field goal attempts longer than 100 yards.
Yeah, the net yardage on the attempts is insane right now.
This will be a 104, 103 and a half yard attempt.
No, wait, 102.
102 and a half. 102 and a half yard field goal
You're
attempt.
right.
Second beyond 100 today.
Wonder if they're sick of my joke. If the kick is up and no good, it's going to be short by at least 60 yards and wide left. Why not? I want to thank the Sport, Physical Activity and Recreation branch of the Ministry in Tourism and Sport with the Government of Alberta, who's the funding provider to the SSA. The funds received from this area of the government are put towards enhancing the quality of life for Albertans. So the Knights still down by 2, same score as we had late in the second quarter, with 3:32 now left here in the third. Poor Dottery, man. He's got a bunch of missed field goals this game. Only one of them was an actual miss. 3 or 4 punts as well. That ball was given up over the middle. Stewart, shoulder pads down, trying to move that pile forward.
It was a long
Maybe
wait
6,
for the whistle as
7?
that pile was moving, then got stopped, then continued to move. But again, we kind of felt that, the safety that Holy Trinity gave up to give up the lead earlier really flipped the field. AOB is kind of stuck in their own end right now because the offense hasn't found a way to move the ball. So we'll see if Holy Trinity can take advantage of the field position they've had.
Looks like a defender jumped. We got a flag from the far side official. The run's going nowhere now. The Crusaders are saying that they were drawn. So we'll get a look on the replay that the refs won't get. They'll talk it over.
Well, I think you're right. It was offside on the defense, so it's going to be an automatic first down because I think they're at about 5.5 yards on first down, and you can see the exchange there. Got botched as the quarterback tried to hand it off. He kind of hit his hip and popped out. So I think they're less than 5 yards to gain. I think it's about 4.5, so I think it'll be an automatic first down.
Previous play, we have offside defense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty.
That was a big play because, again, the result of the play would have resulted in a 3rd and 5, but instead they get a fresh set of downs here poised to try to take the lead on this drive.
From the 35, handoff to the outside. The Crusaders defense there again. Michael Thomas, one of those top 10 leaders in tackles. The linebacker comes up. No gain, maybe a loss.
Well, you can just see him. As soon as that gap gets created, Thomas just shoots the gap and meets him before he gets to the line of scrimmage. Outstanding linebacker play by Austin O'Brien on that play.
Two minutes to go here in the third quarter. Still a 2-point lead for the Crusaders. Marzoff, we got a flag on the play. Marzoff getting towards the sticks. Didn't see anything there for a penalty, but usually that's in the area of a holding.
Yeah, it could have been on the edge as he tried to roll out, because so often your offensive linemen are blocking, thinking you're staying in the pocket. But we'll take a look here as he takes off to his left. Yeah, definitely got holding right on the edge. Great job identifying that there. Just you're not allowed to give him the tug. So the flag came out a lot later than I think the hold actually happened. So we'll see. And again, they're going to have to either take 3rd and really short or moving them back. Looks like they're walking this one back.
Number 33, be a 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Maybe it wasn't on the edge. It was actually on the backer who was out in front lead blocking. So he thought the quarterback was going to run, and then he grabbed him. So we'll take a look here.
Might have been a couple holds on that play because it looked like 67 right here has that tug.
Yeah, the flag came out much later. So 33, yeah, I see him holding. So he's right in behind kind of a group of players. He was holding one of the linebackers, not allowing them to flow out. And that's on the turf. Picks it up.
Marzoff trying to run out of there again and taken down again. Once again, the Crusaders defense moving the ball back. Another sack. Marzoff has been pressured this whole second half. He's got nowhere to go.
So again, the ball is at his feet, and he just doesn't get a handle on it. When he does, he's got some time and space, but he's just they do a really disciplined job on rushing the quarterback. The two edge guys don't let him run outside, forces him back up to the middle, and when they fold back in, they're able to corral him for the big loss. So
it's a conversation
coming here. We'll
Do
see.
I don't see a flag on the field anywhere. Do you?
It's right behind.
Oh, right behind someone. Looks like it's coming back even more.
I wonder if something was said afterwards.
At the end of the play, we have a dead ball foul. Before objectionable conduct, the 10-yard penalty, third down.
Didn't get a good number there. I don't want to blame anyone, but I think it was one of the offensive linemen. So you want to do the math on this one, Rob? We got a third down, and well, I'm going to have to count out loud.
37.
Let me try again. 10, 20, 30.
37.
You know that's my job
There you
at
go.
other places, right? And you were right there too.
That's okay. Hey,
Trying to take my
we're a
job?
team. We're a team. You know, if you need some help and I need some help, we're willing to help each other out and get the information out to the viewers.
3rd and 37. This has to be a punt. This is a good one. Spiraling over the head of the returner. Turned Weeks back, and he's taken down at the 10. So that ball came out to about the 48. That's going to be a net difference.
That one he was able to
almost
run
50.
to his right, and he got a spiral, so the ball carried, and you can see he had to retreat. And again, just securing the ball and down on the 12. So out once again, outstanding field position. AOB not wanting to give up the safety and the lead. If they can get their offense going and climb out of this one, that will be a huge drive for them. They just have not found a way to get out of their end of the field. This entire quarter has pretty much been played in AOB's end of this field. So again, going into the sun, so it shouldn't impact the receivers, and the sun is, well, from here it looks like about 6 feet above the tree line, so that'll disappear pretty quickly.
Not nearly as much of a factor right now as it was earlier in this quarter and in the second quarter as well. Deep shot on a double move just out of the reach. They were looking for Gurnett.
He had a half step, but the coverage was really tight. You can see here, we're going to get it right in our screen. He runs the hitch, spins to the outside, and just misses him so close. But he had the step, but just past his outstretched arm. So, again, second down, taking that shot here. Needs to convert this, see if they can get out of their end.
About a foot away from a 98-yard touchdown. We've seen so many losses, too. If the Knights can force a loss, they might be able to tie this game with a safety as well.
I'm keeping an eye on the flags, and the wind is picked up a little bit heading into the face of the offense right now, and then they will have the win. They run the sweep to the right.
Mojani on the jet sweep pass. Finds some room around the edge, out to the 20, driven into the benches. It's going to be a third down and 1 or maybe 2. How aggressive do you want to be here?
Well,
Your head coach Devin Hogan.
What's your yardage gain from a kick, right? They use that field goal, of course, at this situation. So this is not a plus 100 field goal attempt. This will line up at around the 97-yard
only
field goal attempt. But again, you know, the returner's lined up right around center. So again, once again, the Knights will likely get the ball back in plus territory, and AOB will have to defend their end once again.
Dotteray out for another incredibly long field goal attempt that is practically just a punt. It'll be bounced out just outside the 45, so ball was on the 20. It'll be a net difference of 27.
So you can see
An
that
American watching this would be really confused right now.
Yes, they would be. First of all, they're going to ask, what's all the white stuff, unless they're in Green Bay or Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, what's going on with the 107-yard or 197-yard or 102-yard field goal attempts? Well, just like a punt in the game.
So they get it on the 47, a handoff here.
A big
to
collision.
a new player, Daniel Bowers, hasn't seen any snaps in this game yet, but the
big
young
collision
player
after
wearing
one.
number 0. What, a gain of a yard?
Got to run that slot sweep, so they go with the play action coming back to the backside, but good discipline by the linebackers, and again, limiting the gain to just a yard there on the backside, and some wrestling downfield as the linemen go at it. Always a physical battle in the trenches, and that is going to be the last play of the third quarter.
No scoring in the third quarter. We're stuck at 9-7 for the Austin O'Brien Crusaders. We are 12 minutes away, maybe a little bit more, from deciding a provincial champion here at the Johnny Bright Bowl.
Across Alberta, School sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Beautiful shot of the sunset here at the Johnny Bright Bowl. It is 9-7 for the Austin O'Brien Crusaders. We are 3 games down. We got 1 to go and an extra quarter to play here as well. Connor Toffin and Rob Harrod on the call on this IC Live Procast. It's been an interesting weekend so far. This is our 3rd straight close game, and this one still feels pretty 50-50. Just the only difference is that the Crusaders were able to pin the Knights deep in their own territory, force them to take a safety. And that's the difference, Rob, but we got a lot of time left in this football game.
Yeah, lots of football left to play. As the sun disappears, it is off the field, so it's no longer going to impact the players and their sightlines. Of course, the nature of the bowl here, you've got the hills around. We saw the sledding going on the far side of the field, but again, that allows that sun to disappear a little bit earlier for the players. So that is now out of play. You can see there that the entire field is in the shade now. We can still see the sun from here as it dips below the skyline there and hiding behind some of those trees. But a beautiful night for this time of year for some championship football.
2nd and 9 to open up this 4th quarter. We might be 12 minutes away from deciding a provincial champion, but the way this weekend's gone, could see overtime as well. You never know. Mars off. Clean pocket down the field. What a pitch and catch. Now they're going to call it an incomplete. They'll say it hit the ground. Crusaders seen it right away, and the back judge agrees.
I did see a little bit of a bobble. We'll see here on the replay. He does that in-breaking route there, and he hits his hands, but he does lose control, and it touches the ground kind of near his helmet there. So again, tries to hide it, tucks it in, but again, the secondary was all over that, saying incomplete. But the ref came in from the corner who had the best view and was able to find a way to say no good. And now we're 3rd and long, so exchanges of a lot of punts all in the end. But I'd have to say the yard gainage seems to favor Holy Trinity in the special teams game right now. So they haven't mustered a return AOB, that is, and they need to find a way to get something going. They want to try to wind this one out.
There's one thing I've learned through the years commentating football, being around football, is to never trust a defensive back when they're saying no catch. But they were right that time. Ball fielded in the air and really well covered by the Knights. Stayed just outside that 5-yard radius. No return.
Well, and the refs probably say the same thing in their meeting. Never trust a DB on a call on an incomplete pass. But you know what? They've done a great job here. They've been in the right position. They've made the calls they've needed to. And again, that's great because we're seeing some great football, great officiating. And, you know, like last night's game, you and I had the chance to call that one together. That ended in storybook fashion with a touchdown pass with 3 seconds to go. This is setting up to be an amazing finish, a 2-point game, trying to find a way. One of these teams trying to find a way to get out of here with a championship.
With just the 12-minute quarters as well, if you can put together a long drive where you score points, you can almost put this one to bed at this point. Quick flip to Mojani. There's some room if he can get to the edge, but everyone is rallying to the football. Could have been more. It'll still be a gain of about 9.
Oh, I gave him a really good spot because he kind of toe-tapped the edge as he got to the sideline, so it could have been a 2 or 3 yards to get the first down, but it's about a half a yard. You can see there he just bends in a little bit and tries to dip his shoulder. You can see his foot goes out of bounds. I think he got an extra yard on the spot, so a slight spot in favor of the offense on that one. But good job of getting great first down production. Of course, we've talked about that all afternoon. That's where you want to be.
Handoff, run play, room down the left side for Jacobson across the 30. It's a lot of running to pick up about 6 yards. He'll take it though.
Well, as long as Jacobson doesn't go backwards, he was actually the leading rusher in the first half. 3 carries, 16 yards was his numbers in the first half. So the leading rusher only had a couple totes, but did make good use of them as he did. Important run there to get a new set of downs, something AOB has struggled to do in this half of the game, but that's the first down of hopefully a few for them. And of course, Holy Trinity leaning on that defense to get another stop, to give them an opportunity to get some points and try to win this one.
Pocket breaking down quickly. The Knights are going to get a sack. Lachlan gains into the backfield. It'll be a 2nd and long.
So trying to bring Mojani in behind the protection and then sneak out into the flat, but the pressure got to him before he had a chance to find his receiver. You can see there he just pops out, and as he gets his head around, the pressure forces him up into the pocket, and there's no space up there. So once again, 2nd and more than 10. They've been in that situation a number of times, and first half they seem to find a way to get out of those ones. This half, they haven't been able to overcome that.
Flag on the snap of the football. They'll go back to the left. It got tipped by a Knight, number 90, Britton Burnand, the defensive lineman. We'll check the flag. Wonder if it was a free play.
Well, they did a good job of setting it up, but what an outstanding athletic play to get his hands up and knock that one down, because that had the potential to go for some yards. We'll see if this penalty changes what happens next. Sounds like Holy Trinity's pointing the other direction. They're going to decline this and make it a 3rd and 13, forcing the punting / long field goal situation.
We have offside, offense, penalties declined, result of play, 3rd down.
The Knights are going to get the ball back. On the other side, though, Crusaders have had to do this punt kick over and over and over again. So just in case someone is watching, still wondering what's going on here, in the Canadian game, a punt and a field goal. In the American game, you miss a field goal, the ball's done where you kick it from. In the Canadian game, this is a live ball off the foot of the kicker. You can still have onside players as well. So they just feel better about their kicker, Dotterai, kicking field goals. Works the same as a punt, though, essentially. Chance on the return here from Malik Robbins down the sideline. Cuts it up the middle across the 30, and it's right back pretty much exactly to the original line of scrimmage. Robbins, another big play for the Knights.
Well, and that's where you want to get that one right out of bounds, but an outstanding job of keeping his feet in bounds. You can see there just a little delay, and then he finds the seam down the sideline. So again, we've talked about this special teams battle, punt versus field kick. I think that's what I'm landing on right now, field kick. The punt field kick battle going back and forth, clearly in favor, and especially with that return, Holy Trinity primed to get some points here. But they've been here before in the red zone, and they've had a really hard time getting those points. So we'll see what happens here.
A field goal would give Holy Trinity the lead, but they're looking for more. Marzoff scanning over the middle, steps up in the pocket, delivers a ball towards the 1. It's off the hands of the receiver, Ferris Funk. That was in a tight window as well. Looked dangerous.
Yeah, they've got the other receiver coming from both sides, and so again, he's looking him off down the middle of the field, but doesn't move his eyes. You can see he's staring at him the whole way, and there comes the other DB, and again, had a chance to catch it, but again, a hard catch, but I got to put it down as a drop. He's got to secure those. It's hard. The ground's hard and cold. You're cold. The feet and hands are not feeling well. But again, at one point, Holy Trinity's got to make one of those catches.
2nd and 10. Marzov. Throw right down the middle. One man misses into the end zone. Touchdown, Knights. First score in a long time. It's Lincoln Stewart, and the Knights take a 13-9 lead.
Well, he finally found his guy settling over top of the middle of the field. You can see him settle down here as he runs his route. He just gears down. The linebackers flow. Nice job securing it, and then some nice running after the catch, avoiding a couple of tacklers and some defenders to get into the end zone. So finally they cracked the code. Being in the red zone, literally in this half of the field, the entire half of football, they finally found the end zone and have taken this lead.
Extra point to make it a 5-point game. Almost wondered if they wanted to go for 2 here. They will elect to go for the 1 though, and it's up and through off of the foot of Carver O'Brien. Here's another look at the touchdown.
You can see as he slides in behind the backer, as he moves and follows the underneath route, does a good job of securing that ball, getting to the end zone. So now the crowd for Holy Trinity is getting a little bit louder that they finally found the end zone in the second half to take the lead.
7:41 to go.
You know, in a game that this is so tight, you got to think about all these first and goals and these defensive stands on the goal line that these teams have made. It's been hard going inside the 5, but now the team that is built to make a comeback quickly is going to receive the ball with their aerial attack, but they are going to have to find a way to do that, which they haven't been too easy in this half.
That ball took a hop. SARS back inside his own 20. Get a good look on this replay. That ball was, it's like it hit the lip of an infield in a baseball game. It just popped up at the last second, made it tough on SARS. Look at this, low, high.
Yeah, he needed to step in as it popped up. He needs to step in and get that. He let it bounce one more, and that's where it went off to the side. Special teams, again, the coverage unit for Holy Trinity has been outstanding today. The return team has done a good job. Offense and defense have gone back and forth and made some big plays, but really the difference in this game is that field position battle and special teams, and I have to say, like the scoreboard, it favors Holy Trinity. They've just owned the special teams battle for the most part in this game, but this offense is tough to stop. We'll see if they can continue to do that. Holy Trinity's had some success here late in this one. See if they can continue that.
Don't need to drive 90 yards now, but they'd love to. Mojani in motion. They'll go to Mojani. Room in front of him. Tries to break it out to the 29. Nice tackle there by the Knights. That's number 21, Zach Zentner.
They're going right back to that same play, coming behind the coverage, and again, hitting that flat route and just letting him move, gives a little bit of inside shoulder move, and again, just reaching out that ball to see if you can get the extra half yard. So again, just under a yard to go. Try to keep this drive alive, which again, as the clock winds, could be could come into play here as we lose time in this one.
You never know when your last chance is coming. Another flip. This time on the sweep to Horn. First down, gets out of bounds at the 44. A gain of 5. 34, sorry.
So they have that same motion, but this time they snap it earlier so he actually catches it in the backfield on the sweep versus coming across in behind and run the flat route. They're finding some success when they go lock up man on the short side of the field. That underneath route, the guy's in chase mode. He's got to get behind the linebackers and come across. He's just trying to chase their athletes. So great first down for AOB, and of course Trinity trying to slow this drive and see if defense can win this provincial championship for them.
6.5 minutes. One of those games that can change on any play right now. Deep ball down the middle. They were looking for Mojani. It fell short. He was pretty much blanketed by Zach Zentner.
You know, he's come to the middle a few times and he's really struggled to hit his target, and I think it's because the other receiver is bringing defenders into it. That window closes so fast as opposed to running your field side receivers to the outside to draw the free safety or even a seam route, and then he's allowed to bend it to the middle of the field. He's had a hard time hitting that route today, where he's hit a lot of flat stuff, a couple deep things, but again, missed on the double move, of course, that we saw earlier, but he's got to find that completion here to keep this drive going.
2nd and 10. Quick pass towards the boundary is dropped. That was Gurnett. He wants that one back. Might have set up a go for it situation on 3rd down. Instead, I think the Crusaders might have to punt.
And you can see what he was doing. He's trying to step back to the inside, but he didn't quite have it secured. That's why it came out as he made his move. So again, never secured the catch. That's why it's ruled incomplete versus a fumble. I know the Knights were hoping that would be a fumble because he had some of it, but as he was tucking it away and pulling it back to the inside, he never really secured that. So another field kick situation.
I like it.
Love it. Yeah, I think that's the new Canadian. I want to put that in my playbook because I got some kickers again next year. So the field kick situation for AOB to gain some yardage here.
See if they can get it to the sideline. Malik Robbins.
That one goes out of bounds.
Really good. Malik Robbins returned the last one a long ways back to the line of scrimmage. This one out at the 39. So almost 40 yards net difference after that kick.
That was by far their best field kick when it comes to net yards. They were able to get it into Holy Trinity territory. So here, this again, setting up potentially a game-winning drive, a run team. You get up, talked about that at half. If they can get up and run this clock out, this plays into their favor. But of course, this AOB defense playing cover 0, loading the box, trying to stop this run game. See what Trinity can do to finish this one.
Trying to force the Knights to throw. They've done it all game. Can the Knights get the run game going? A little bit of creativity here as they look towards Daniel Bowers. That's good 1st down production right now. A pickup of 5.5.
Again, Bowers did a great job. The timing was perfect, and as he gets into the hole, you'll see him make the first guy miss. Right there in the hole, he's got him, but he makes him miss, and that makes a huge difference. That's the difference between a 1-yard gain and a 5-yard gain. And again, with a run game, that 1st down production is going to be important as this one winds down.
Noah Bannock came up with the tackle. Still an important 2nd down here. Remember, we've had some big losses in this 2nd half as well. Got to protect the ball here. Quarterback keeper, Marzoff, taken down at the line of scrimmage. I think some Knights fans thought someone else had the ball because Stewart was in behind everyone and they thought they were going for a touchdown. Tricked my eyes as well a little bit here.
I think it was number 14, Elia Mejia, defensive end, just stymieing the quarterback right in the hole. So of course in their own end, the option to play the field position game, which their special teams has owned in my opinion in this one. They're likely going to punt this one away, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is like maybe fake territory to try to hold on to the ball and get some more clock off.
Lachlan Gaines, linebacker, punter.
Their run punt situation is great right now. It looks like AOB is only going to rush forward with their linebackers ready to flow, so they're going to buy themselves a little bit of time to get downfield. They do have it packed in on this punt formation.
AOB had that defended well, making sure that Holy Trinity couldn't fake it. That one bouncing back towards the kick team. There should be a flag for no yards. There is. Another 5 yards tacked on from where it was received.
That's a great heads-up play. Great heads-up play by the returner. It bounces and stays in bounds. He's able to get himself a few extra yards. I know it was no yards, but that because he rushed that and caught it there, right there, you can see there's definitely guys in the vicinity of 5 yards.
Ooh, and that's number 7 there that made the hit. That's the punter gain. So if he doesn't pick that up, he's onside. He could have recovered that football.
He's been downfield on a lot of his punts because as he starts to run, he actually gets closer to the line of scrimmage. And of course, in high school, your punter is often a very good athlete, and so getting him downfield, and now he's out there. Or no, he's not out there now, but AOB's out there ready to try to move some yards here, get the offense going.
Well, we're making up new terms. I'm calling him a punt gunner. Quick look to the right, it's intercepted! Zach Zentner back to the 50. Huge play for the Knights with 3:50 to go in this game.
So the Knights have played a lot of man coverage. In that case, the ball was just thrown behind his receiver, running the out. So you got to out and you got to go by the wide receiver. He just put it in the wrong spot. And again, I'm not sure the mechanics were there. He kind of came around the side, maybe throwing around some of the defensive linemen, but put it behind the receiver. And the DB was right there to make the play. So lots of pressure on AOB's defense now to get another stop. Otherwise, Holy Trinity may be able to march this ball and win their championship for this year.
Holy Trinity called a timeout, maybe just looking to settle things down a little bit. I think we're at a point, I don't think that Austin O'Brien has called any timeouts here in the second half, but if you can run this football, run, that's probably what we're expecting right now out of Holy Trinity. Maybe easier said than done, because they're going to be facing an 8-man box. How do you run against an 8-man box? Can you?
You know, honestly, I think they're going to run on first down to get the clock going, and then I think if it's second and long, and they're in plus territory, so even if you go for it at this point in time, if you play true 3-down football and get 3 or 4 yards a crack, they can run this ball out, but they don't seem to be able to do that running straight forward. They're using their slot backs and their other running backs trying to get to the edge and run some counter plays, and so we'll see how they attack this tight box that AOB's presenting in front of them, hoping to get one more stop and give their offense a chance again.
There's 9 guys in the box right now. Pretty much make it 10 with the defensive back blitzing. Run is going to beat the defense out across the 40. Pile is getting pushed. This looks like a first down.
Well, and as I say, they're having a hard time running right up the middle. They go right up the middle and get a great first run on this drive. You can see he's not touched until he's about 6-7 yards downfield. So great job by the offensive line creating the hole, getting the first down. That's step one, is just starting this drive, get a little momentum. And as that clock winds, that becomes the problem for AOB.
That's against a 9-man box with a safety blitzing, essentially making it 10. There were only 2 guys covering. Engage 10. And the Knights beat it. Ball's on the ground. They're able to get the handoff away cleanly. Met in the hole. Handoff was to Weston Schmidt, who didn't have a lot of room. Pick up of a couple. Actually,
yeah, again, a little bad snap down to his left, so he's got to pick it up. It does a pretty good job of getting it off the ground and into the belly of the running back to give them an opportunity to get some positive yards, which they did, just a few. And you can hear the chant in the stands. They're getting pretty excited. The Knights fans that got the ball and the lead with less than 3 minutes in this one.
2nd and 6 from the 36. Trophies being brought out onto the sideline. Here's another handoff. No room at the line of scrimmage. They gave it to Malik Robbins, and he was stood up by Michael Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas been playing well and in on tackles all day today. Does a great job there on 2nd down. So out comes the punt team once again. So AOB needed to get a stop, and after the 1 first down, they got their stop, and now special teams needs to, if at any time there's a time where special teams needs to come alive for AOB, they need to see if they can get a return to give their offense a little bit of a shorter field, but they're going to have to move the ball quickly. This may be their last opportunity. See how this goes after the punt.
Time is ticking. Crusaders elect to hold their timeouts. Another run punt again. This one is kicked way into the end zone. They'll return it out. This thing is going to come out to the 20. They keep the extra point off. Good choice there. So take it out by Brady Weeks.
Being up 5, giving up the single and getting 15 more yards may have been the opportunity that they needed to take advantage of. Again, the nice thing is you get it out to the 20, right? That's an amateur football rule, whereas if you return it out to at least the 1 past the goal line, you get it at the 20. But 15 yards is that's an extra first down.
You're saying if you score the touchdown, now you wouldn't need to kick the extra point to win? If they would have given up the Rouge, they would have needed to kick that extra point to win. That's the only difference. I agree. I think that 15 yards is probably worth it.
Well, doesn't matter now because they've got the extra 15 yards to get. We'll see what they can do.
90 yards to the end zone, another one down the middle. Oh, what a hit to jar the ball loose. They were targeting a horn. It was Zach Zentner who came up with the interception last play on defense. Now gets the pass breakup.
Well, and this ball's delivered to where you want it. You see the hole in the middle of the field. A little bit behind him, but he gets his hands on it. But again, they stuck through it. He wasn't able to survive landing on the ground.
Zentner a bit banged up on the play. He took a knee, so he's going to have to go out for a few. I think he might have been okay to play, but since they whistled it down for him, he has to leave for a few. So 2nd and 10. Have to think it's 3-down territory here for Austin O'Brien. It would be tough to punt it back with just a couple minutes to go.
Yeah, I agree. You're probably looking at 3-down territory, so they're going to want to see if they can convert here on 2nd down.
Looking for Mojani. That ball, I don't know if it got tipped or it didn't come out right. We'll get a look on the replay.
He did not.
It's incomplete.
He did not get a good grip on that ball. I think he was trying to get it out so quick. We'll see here as he loads to get it out. You can see he doesn't even have the ball properly in his hands. And again, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
That ball's thrown up high. Trinity may be going the other direction with it. So now knowing they're coming down on that screen, you've got to get 10 yards. Are you setting up like a screen and go? What is that play? What haven't you used today that is in your playbook that needs to get you that first down? Because if they do indeed go for it here with 2:15 left, they obviously have, I think they've got a timeout, if not 2 left.
I believe the Knights just called one.
So with the Crusaders having some timeouts left, they could punt this away, but their net punt average has not been great. And again, they're up 5. They give up another single. You know, they're still within a 1 score if they can keep them off the board and stop the clock. Tough situation here, unable to execute the screenplay and get some of the yards. Even if you get 4 or 5, you're definitely going for it. But now that 3rd and 10, we'll see what they have. They've come across the middle a few times, had some incomplete passes that could have been caught, but just not able to make the play when it's all on the line here in the 4th quarter.
You don't have to have it here if you're the Crusaders, but you probably do, or else this game is in the hands of your defense. Pretty much forcing a turnover because the Knights would have the ball at the 20. Holy Trinity crowd getting into it. They're hoping they only need one more stop. Is this the play that's going to send the Knights to a provincial championship? Or will the Crusaders stay alive? Deep target down the middle. Mojani has the catch. Are you kidding me? He's across the 30. He is gone. Touchdown Knights. Sorry, Crusaders. 90 yards. Mojani.
Well, and it's what they needed. They came flat across the middle of a number of times. This time they have cover 2, so you can see the 2 defenders. He splits the both of them, and the strong side cover 2 guy steps up on the under, and they've got the deep post in behind. He hits them in stride, and this aerial attack finally comes alive with the big strike. 3rd down completion that gives them the lead. And now they're trying to figure out, do we kick 1, do we kick 2, or do we go for 2, do we kick 1? In my opinion, knowing the Knights haven't attempted a field goal is a single more dangerous than a field goal. That would be my question. The single more dangerous. They're obviously looking at going for 2.
You have to watch out for the return here. That would be the big thing on any pick. That would flip the lead right back to the Knights.
Yeah, could you imagine that? Oh my goodness.
About as likely as the last play we just saw, so it's not out of the realm. Flushed out of the pocket. Throw is going to be well short. Boy, that though, it was in the direction of Tavish Johnson. And there was only Greenfield ahead of him. We almost had it. Here's another look at the touchdown.
So you can see
for the
in from the short side of the field and the post in behind. So he did a great job. He drew the safety in, and they actually had the great coverage called in cover 2. Take away both hash marks and those deep routes going across the hash, but the one free safety steps up, and of course you got the crosser in behind, and if you hit him in stride, you're not going to catch him.
Good throw by the quarterback there, Matheson, hitting him in stride. If that ball is just a couple feet back, he probably makes the catch, but gets taken down around the 40 or 45. You hit him in stride, you get those extra 60, 70 yards right then and there. Don't have to worry about the rest of your drive.
It was off and run, and I know he probably feels bad, but that's the best way to make up for the pick that he threw on the last drive. He missed his receiver on the out. He comes back, clutch third down, dime down the middle of the field for the touchdown.
3rd and 10, the game was in peril. Now the Crusaders take the lead. Now the Knights down by 1, about to get the ball back on the kickoff.
And their dangerous return team is out here.
They'll take it across the 30. A little bit of room here out to about the 34. Now, you got about 75 yards to get to the end zone. You won't need all that. You can attempt a field goal. You don't need that either. You can kick a rouge and send it to overtime.
We haven't seen the Knights' ability to kick field goals, so we haven't really seen if they're able to do that. So we'll see here if they have the ability to drive the field. You've still got cover 0, and they're loading the box. Interesting decision by AOB.
Knights need to go to the air. Target out left for Robbins. Robbins towards the edge. He's so hard to take down. Face mask at the end of the play is going to add on another 15. This is going to come to Crusaders territory at the 50.
It looked like I didn't see the face mask. He kind of got him up high.
Maybe a horse collar.
I don't believe that's a penalty. He's got both shoulder pads, both hands. I don't think he pulls him down from behind because he's got him in front. Not sure what they saw, but they saw it, and they've called it. So again, first down for the Knights.
What a game. Another close finish. No clue who's going to win. Marzoff flushed out of the pocket, evades pressure, got to get rid of it, takes a huge hit, and it is picked off. Picked off by Vincent Horn. Another game-sealing interception. This isn't game-sealing yet, but it might be for the Crusaders. 1:36 to go. Well, and the Knights have used timeouts as well.
He takes his shot as he releases this, so it flutters up, and you're throwing into a crowd of receivers, not only in green jerseys, but all the guys in black jerseys are also receivers and play both ways. And so a great hands catch. You can see there the shot he takes. The ball flutters enough, and then high pointing the ball is a skill receivers work on all the time. This time it pays off for the defense. Gets the interception. Now they have the opportunity to get out of this one with 1:36 left. They do need to produce a first down and buy themselves a little bit of space here. They could wind this out with a couple first downs. But the Knights are going to load that box, see if they can get the stand here. Again, you're not built to run the clock as a passing team. So we'll see what they do here.
Can the Crusaders chew up enough clock? They got 1:36. We got a flag at the snap. It's coming back another 5 yards. Looks like a procedure. After that defensive penalty, too, remember that face mask.
Offense, number 60, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So back in week 3 against Spruce Grove, Vincent Horn, he suffered a broken hand in the game. He didn't care. He finished the game anyway. He's got 2 receiving touchdowns and had the game-sealing interception. Does he have another one here, or can the Knights make one last stand? They'll add a second back onto the clock. That's good to see because one did run off on the last one. 1st and 15. Got a lot harder. A quick flip forward. Brady Weeks. Not a lot there. The Knights want this ball back.
So they do go to the run game early, even though it was 1st and 15. They get 4 back, so now they're back to 2nd and a few. Again, kind of the run game. Technically, it's a forward pass, but it is a completion, so the clock starts to wind at 1:28. So they should be able to snap this under 1:10 or just around 1:10. See if they can keep the clock going, take more time away from any hope the Knights have.
Well timed. They bled out every millisecond of that play clock. Here's a run up the middle. A little bit of space. Fighting for yards is Jacobson. He'll be stopped 4 short. I think we're going to get one more field kick here. We are. Field goal team coming on.
Well, and the tough one here, the field kick is coming from almost the middle of the field. Not exactly, but again, he's got to make sure he gets this to the sideline. And I've watched how they've lined up. They only have one returner deep, and he's off on the left side, the short side of the field. But if I was the field goal team here, you could actually kick it to the right side, and there's no returner out there, and I would take my right guy and keep him on side, so he actually has a chance to get that ball. So they typically line up 2 on one side and 1 on the other to cover it, but the one on the opposite side, if he stays behind the kick, he's eligible to go and recover it. I believe that's the field kick rule. But again, keeping him on side makes him eligible to recover this kick if it doesn't go out of bounds. But with no returner, earlier in the game, they had 2 returners back. Now they're just having 1 because consistently AOB has kicked it to the short side, trying to get it out of bounds.
Remember, early in the third quarter, now I believe the Knights have called a timeout here, so they must have had 1 left to stop the clock still with 61 seconds left in this game. In the third quarter, Malik Robbins had that big return. Took it to about the 24, 25-yard line. They scored a touchdown on that drive. Once again, they don't need a touchdown if they get this ball back. So I just want to make a footnote as well. If you do have a fake and you're the Crusaders and you're feeling really bold, you can ice a provincial championship right now.
Well, and the stop on that 2-point conversion after AOBs makes a difference because they could actually run back, take some time off, and take a safety if they were up by 3, but they're not. Right. So they are going to have to indeed kick this one away. And it looks like they have lined up to kick it the opposite direction. They just don't know which way they're going.
Receiver's going to flip sides here. Returner rather, Robbins. Gets to that left side, bounces just inside the 40. Robbins fields it on the run. How much room does he have? He tries to flip it back to the right. Now counters to the left, out at the 48. 49 seconds to go. 63 yards away from the end zone.
So then they did try to kick it opposite, but they kind of got wind of it after the timeout, and they brought him across the field to give him a chance. It's interesting. Kind of had a little space there and trying to make the play. Sometimes it's a wide field, sometimes it's not. So lots of time here. They got a half a field to go. See if they can get this air attack going.
Marzoff, clean pocket, delivers on time, juggled and caught at the 50. Got to get up on the ball. That's Dawson Rodney. Knights are going to move quick. They just need a single to tie. Field goal would win. They are lined up and just about ready to go. Good job by Rodney to sit down. They are on top of the ball. Play gets in, only another second comes off. Well run offense. Marzoff, clean pocket again. He's going to run out to the right. He delivers it, takes another hit. Horn had a chance for an interception. Josiah Price, the defender, flushed him out and forced the throw.
Yeah, he almost had another one there to try to seal it again. This defense is continuing to be under pressure to make some plays. And again, you see the pressure there. Again, 2 shots, 1 from each side, but Horn does a good job of bodying up the receiver. But again, great job by Robbins there to make sure he doesn't get the pick and give their offense another shot here with just over 30 seconds left.
How many more plays do the Knights have left? 2nd and 10 right now. Marzoff, clean pocket, taking a lot of time though, flushed out, running to the left. Marzoff, eyes downfield, now he'll tuck it and run, hit out of bounds. We'll see where they spot the football. Did he get an extension at the last second? Out to the 41, 19.4 to go, the clock will stop on a 3rd and 1.
So it will be 3rd down, so they are going to have to get the 1st down if they want any hope. The problem with that is the clock will be on a wind if it's anything inside. So as a defense, this is where you almost are a little bit of outside shade. Make sure they don't get to the sideline, but be honest, because again, they can get the 1st down and the clock will stop until they reset the ball.
Crusaders with a stop will be provincial champions. Knights Pressure in the backfield again. He's taken down. There's a flag. There's a flag on the play. Eliason into the backfield. Let's check the flag. It was around the hit of Marzoff. The head official threw it. This is going to be a controversy. You can hear the Austin O'Brien crowd, and they're going to talk this one over.
I'm going to have to see a replay to see what he saw and hear what this call was. I didn't see anything too high and around the face mask. It's definitely an important call here for the officials.
If it's 15 yards, it would go to the 26.
30.
I've really seen an indication.
On a play, roughness offense, number 9, face mask, via down.
It was on the offense. It was on the quarterback, Marzoff. The Austin O'Brien Crusaders have gotten the stop. They are going to be provincial champions. There you see the face mask. Good call by the official. A jump scare for everybody else. We thought, oh no, it's happening.
We already heard some boos coming out of the crowd, but that play obviously, it does end in style. The Austin O'Brien Crusaders have created problems in the backfield for the quarterback, have had some significant losses very similar to that one. Again, this time the sack goes down, turns the ball over on downs one more time, and the Crusaders can kneel this one out and start the celebration.
2 knees to go. Victory formation. Provincial winning formation for the Austin O'Brien Crusaders. There's 1 knee. Clock will run. Waiting for it to hit zeros. Went down a little early. So I think they have to snap it on 3rd down. No, they're going to call the game over.
The clock could have been frozen, so we've seen that through the course of the weekend.
It's a provincial championship for the Austin O'Brien Crusaders. A 1-point victory. Some stellar plays on defense. A bunch of sacks in the second half. A game-winning sack. Vincent Horn, an interception. It was tight. It was down to the wire. And Austin O'Brien barely prevails. You think about that safety back in the first half in a 1-point game.
Wow, the safety, the goal line stops on both sides. I mean, so many opportunities for both of these teams to find a way to win this one. And it seemed like Holy Trinity had that opportunity, had the touchdown they needed, but then it comes back with a huge 3rd down touchdown play for the Crusaders to end up sealing this one. And then the defense had to get it done a couple of times in the last 2 minutes of this one to finally put it on ice, but they have done that. And a great feeling for this group of young men that battled all year. And their coach had said at the beginning of the year, we feel like we've got the pieces to compete for a championship. Can we put it together? And of course, we saw them do that here tonight. They finally put it all together on this run, and they found a way to win this on both sides of the ball. Critical plays in the 4th quarter.
You can see the emotion on both sides. That was number 9, Zaid Eliason, for the Austin O'Brien Crusaders. He is the provincial champion. It's the Crusaders' 5th provincial championship. They won back in 2023, taking down the always ready Cochrane Cobras.
Well, I've got some final numbers as they get ready for the celebration here. Malcolm Matheson ended up going 16 for 31, 314 yards. Ends up throwing 2 interceptions, but again, the key touchdown in the 4th quarter to get it done. And Malcolm Matheson is one of the best quarterbacks in the Edmonton area, doing really well, getting scouts. I did notice some scouts from the junior teams, from some of the universities around the province coming to scout some of the athletes in this game. And I know Malcolm Matheson is actually heading down to Atlanta to play in an All-American game. He happens to be going with my son, who is also going to be playing that game in Atlanta at Christmas. So we get to spend Christmas in Atlanta, but what better way to celebrate the end of his high school career by winning a provincial championship and then looking to play at the next level. I'm sure we'll see him out there as he slings the ball around, has a cannon for an arm. Great young man, and the talent around him. I'm sure a lot of these guys are going to be playing at the next level when the opportunity comes and they graduate.
One of them could very well be Jeremiah Mojani. Remember, 2 minutes left in this game, 3rd and 10 from their own 20, and they had a 90-yard touchdown, kind of the perfect way for the Crusaders to get a provincial championship. Close game, and Matheson connects with one of those 3 targets that we've talked about all game. Gurnett, Horn made the big plays on defense today, actually. All 3 of them were pretty stout in the secondary for the Crusaders, but it was Mojani who went 90 yards to the end zone. It was shocking. If they didn't have that touchdown, the path back into the game would have been tough for the Crusaders. That was just barely enough to give them the win. And you'd think, sometimes you win these games when they're super tight. There's a bit of elation. You can almost see these guys after playing 4 quarters in the cold. They just look exhausted.
Well, it's a battle, and it's a long season. And again, they did have the break with the teacher strike, but they had that break, which they had to overcome. That's a challenge that most athletes don't have to worry about. But again, they overcame that bit of the problem, and they found a way to get it done here after the break. They put all the pieces together finally, and in this one, and finished this season, which again got extended 1 more week because of the strike, and it pushed it into some cold weather. But the weather doesn't matter now for the Crusaders. They are in celebration mode, and there's no cold weather that will keep that celebration away when you can win a provincial championship.
What a game here at the Johnny Bright Bowl. We've been absolutely blessed with such a good provincial so far. Called the game last night in the 9-a-side that ended on the last-second touchdown, and here into the final 2 minutes. I said it a couple times. We have no clue who's going to win this game. And I think so far this weekend we've seen a really good demonstration of where football in Alberta is at. Efforts on both sides of the ball. We've seen a defensive line take over for the Crusaders and get big plays when they need them as well. And I feel like maybe that's something, talk about all the big plays to Mojani, the big pass plays, and more than anything, I think it was the defensive line for Austin O'Brien today that maybe made the biggest impact out of anybody in this game.
Well, the game plan that brought 8 guys into the box really stopped the run game. And again, we can look at some of the numbers. So the ball carriers, we had rushing for, let's get this right, rushing for Austin O'Brien, 32 yards, only 108 for Holy Trinity. And for a team that leans on the run so much, they just could never get that going. But that's that game planning piece where it's like, okay, we need to stop the run, let's force them to the air. They did find ways to move the ball through the air, and they did have some success doing that, but just not enough late in this one to put this one away. And again, they tried to get the ball downfield. He threw the interception on the first opportunity to get a winning drive, and then couldn't get it done on the second one, taking the sack. So tough finish for the Holy Trinity Knights. They got lots to be proud of, man. What an amazing season they've had. They did roll through the playoffs. They got here, as did AOB, and they battled all night long. Interestingly enough, I thought we may have seen a few more points scored tonight because both offenses coming in knowing they can score, they can control the ball. But it ended up being a great finish, back and forth, both teams. But that defense, but not only the defensive line, but the front 7 or front 8 in many cases for AOB. The goal line stand, you think back to those moments. Big key plays were made to keep the score limited. And, AOB got it done, and they had 1 more point is all it took on tonight's game. Or this afternoon's game that is now night.
Football can be a game of inches. And like you said, just 1 point was all that it took today. And Austin O'Brien, as you saw some of the highlights from the game, they're able to come away with their school's 5th provincial championship. I mean, what a weekend we've had so far. And Rob, we still got 1 more game. So while we show some shots here of Austin O'Brien celebrating a provincial championship, we got 1 more coming up. Ernest Manning and Notre Dame.
Yeah, excited about that game. There's lots to talk about, and we'll get to that in that broadcast. But you know what? We've been treated to some great football all weekend. You know, I know the temperature's dropped and it's cold, but the fans have been coming out. They've filled the stands, and so there's some great football still to be had. The big 5A championship. But again, lots of exciting games. The first three, this one was a great one as well. So we have 4 good games and 1 left to come on this great championship weekend here in Edmonton.
As you said, Rob, felt like a game plan win today where Devin Hogan and his coaching staff went in, made a game plan, executed it pretty much to perfection, or should I say just enough, because it was a 15-14 win here at the Johnny Bright Bowl. We got 1 game left, folks, but Austin O'Brien is the 4A provincial champions. 15-14 was the win.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.